Hit that song.
Which one?
Hey, you out there. You want some culture concise commentary? You want some co-hosts who actually are authentic and real? You can tell that they actually have some type of chemistry going on?
Hey, cloud chasing. That's cool. I actually got something in mind for you. So keep listening. You'll find out.
This is Touchdowns and Tangents, your weekly spot for NFL takes, culturally concise, tangent, and context for the culture.
What?
You're late. That's like 3 weeks old.
Well, y'all don't ever show me nothing. I just
Nah, it's because the past few weeks we've been yelling over it. That's why.
y'all have y'all intros now to y'all mixtape that y'all are dropped.
What's good, everybody? It's Touchdowns and Tangents, live from the Good News radio station, studio number 1, Culver City, California. I'm Pete D. Camarillo.
I'm Kenneth J. Barry. This is another episode of Touchdowns and Tangents.
And we're joined, as always, by our lovely intern, smart, intelligent. Sorry, I didn't mean to just call you lovely.
It's okay. I know I am.
Bay Area native.
Bay Area native. Serve.
Hey, yeet.
She hasn't fully gone to the dark side yet.
Nope,
but
never
she's wearing
will.
a Star Wars shirt. Shout out to Serve.
No, I'm on the dark side.
Can we see you? Hey.
But yeah, man, shout out to the X-Squad affiliates. Shout out to FPC Radio. Shout out to everybody else who messes with us. Shout out to your favorite podcast app where you can find this official episode 129. I went back and counted. So yeah, you can find it on Stitcher, Spotify, Radio Public, Player FM, Castro Radio, anywhere you get your podcasts.
iTunes podcast section, because hey, what do you know? Hello, caller. What is your name? Where you're from? And yeah.
Nah, we're not doing that.
All the smoke? Okay, fresher.
We are not doing that. Is Pete there? What's up, Pete?
What's good, man? What's good, Jordan? How you
This
doing?
man-
What's up?
last-
How you? Man, I'm great. It's a great day.
For a Knicks fan.
We got the PB&J in the house right now.
PB&J.
Hey.
That still might be the most legendary name ever. And I said it on the fly in the newsroom. We looked at each other. It was like, oh. But anyway, for those of you who don't know,
Crazy.
this man called in 100th episode and told me in my Henny-induced haze to calm down because I was ruining it.
Yes.
He did. Thank God that CVS by CSUN didn't have Hennessy. It would have been a rough podcast.
Keep setting me up.
Of course. Not only is he a Sacktown native, Sacktown legend, came down here, killing it, doing his thing. The one, the only, literally his name in my phone is Jordan Ball, a.k.a. LL Cool J from Deep Blue Sea. Because, sorry. it was too funny, and I haven't changed it yet, and it's been too many years. So
You don't gotta change it.
when it pops up, I get excited. I'm like, hey, Jordan, all right. The only black man to ever successfully survive a horror movie, Jordan Ball and
Of
LL
course.
Cool J. But,
How
of course,
y'all
King of the Jets fan club.
Jets fan club, Knicks,
Of course.
The
Knicks
Myers
are-
remorse.
Knicks
The Myers
aficionado,
remorse.
Ohio,
fan club.
Ohio State
Listen.
apologist. And I remember your question.
Listen, I know you guys have covered the Raiders Hard Knock stuff.
Yes.
Later on during training camp and as things go on, I'll probably stop by to talk about the Jets.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
All
This
right.
man is coming here.
bet.
person?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay. All right. Let's sync it up with your Google Maps. I don't want no traffic excuses.
I don't want you and Brandon. I don't want you and Brandon be like, oh no, we couldn't make it. I need you, Brandon, and Raul in the
Nah.
same building, like the Infinity Gauntlet.
Nah, see, I never commit to things.
He's light skinned. He don't commit. I respect that.
No, you don't commit. You never commit. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I'll try
You're soft commit, like NCAA football on PS2.
for sure. Because I can always just say, I'm not going to Texas. I'm going to USC.
I'm going to West
Just saying.
Virginia. Like, wait, I should have had this 5-star prospect. It's Boise State, and I just won a national title. Why aren't you coming here? Oh, I'm gonna go to Texas and never
Exactly. Just like what's his name? Michael Porter Jr. did. He committed to Oregon. Was like, nah, I'm gonna go to fucking Missouri.
start. Yeah, but that's because he had Washington's head coach there. It's like, nah, I'm gonna follow him. I'm gonna follow what Lorenzo
Yeah, and
Romar.
his pops.
Exactly. Worked out though.
All right, Jordan. So get to the smoke you called in for.
And then we'll also
Listen.
finish the smoke that you wanted to, the question you posed to us on the 100th episode. We'll get to that later.
Okay, yes. First off, I want to know how you guys are feeling about the draft. How are you guys feeling about the AD trade? I mean, there's some things to build up to what I'm going to say.
Okay.
So I want to start off. With you guys. How do you guys feel about the draft and the Anthony Davis trade?
Let me just say this.
I like how Pete just assumed he could go first.
Let me just say this. Lakers fans are mad disrespectful to Dwight
Clippers fan
Howard.
talking all this trash.
Mad disrespectful to Dwight Howard saying he doesn't compare to AD. When you actually look at their stats, not only do they compare, but Dwight actually carried his team to NBA Finals appearance, which is more than AD's ever done.
That's true.
Beat Bron in his prime.
He actually played 80 games more than once, which is something AD hasn't done. And
That's true.
Made Michael Petrus look like an all-star.
Further, I mean, if you really want to get to the comparison, LeBron and Kobe are the same age as when that Dwight Howard trade went down. So basically what I'm saying is, once again, this is the Lakers desperately trying to get a championship, trying to be relevant at any means necessary. And honestly, if you look at history, only one team has actually made the finals and won it based off being a brand new team, and that was the 2008 Celtics. So what I'm saying is, Lakers are doing all this shit, and they're still not going to win a ring next year. They might win one the following year, because that's what LeBron's teams do. But as far as 2020, they're not winning. I'll put money on it.
All right. I would say I actually really like New Orleans after the fact. If you look at who they're getting.
I knew you was going to say some. Keep going. Look, Pete, I agree.
I'm not going Ryan Hollins.
I knew Kenny was going to be the one.
I told you I don't pay this man for his basketball take.
Hey, but I just want to say this because Courtside laughed me out the room. Everybody laughed me out the room. But I literally predicted. I said, "Watch, the Pelicans are going to trade AD to the Lakers for Lonzo, Ingram, Hart, and 3 first-round picks." And what happened? The exact thing I said.
You called that because everybody, including me, and I still don't know how it happened.
Laughed me out the room.
How Kuzma was not in that deal. Because to me, personally, Kuzma is the best young player out of those three.
See what I mean?
Lonzo Ball.
Man.
Listen,
bro, 6'10" Jordan Clarkson?
One Lonzo Ball doesn't
Did
have
you just
a
say
jump
You're talking
shot,
about Larry
and
Nance
it
Jr.
works.
with the jump shot?
He said 6'10" Jordan Clarkson. He's 6'9".
You're talking about Larry Nance with the jump shot. My bad.
Larry Nance ain't. That's
Larry Nance with a jump.
That's disrespectful.
Did Larry Nance ever average 18 a game?
No, did he ever start?
He went to Wyoming.
Exactly.
Kyle Kuzma is the only dude I know who will go 3 for 4 and finish the game 4 for 11.
That's because they made him shoot in uncomfortable situations. Like they made him 4 shots. He really should.
He'll have 13 in the first quarter and then finish the game with 16.
And LeBron will get a triple
38
double.
minutes.
And LeBron will get a triple double, and everybody will be like, "Oh, it's okay."
Kuzma, and this is no disrespect to Kuzma. Obviously, I think he's a really good young player. But none of those three move me in terms of becoming all-stars potentially.
Okay,
none of them.
Uzi Vert.
You got to give
So,
B.I. a shot, though.
For me, it's the best player that fit around LeBron and AD, and to me, Kuzma was that.
He's
there
a
was
compliment.
no way I thought that they would keep him in the deal. There was no way.
I would have kept Lonzo.
3 first-round
personally.
picks. Here's the problem, though.
Unless they're getting Kyrie. Unless they're getting Kyrie.
With his dad and all that, you don't want to deal with
Kyrie's
that.
a 2-guard, bro. Can we just be honest? Kyrie's not a point guard.
Kyrie can play both.
He's a 2-guard.
He can
He's
play
a ball.
both.
Okay, just because you
He
dominate
has
the ball,
he has like the best handles we've ever seen.
I don't care. Guess what?
How can you say he's not a point guard?
Zion's one of the most explosive athletes we've ever seen with the basketball in his hand. That don't mean he's going to be a
do you
great
know-
power
do you know-
forward.
Do you know this? Kyrie only averaged, I think it was 2 points, maybe less than Curry, but he averaged his career high ever in assists this year.
What was it, like 7?
Despite all the
How many assists? How many
with the
assists was
Boston
it?
Celtics.
How many assists was it?
I think it was around 7. I think like 7.4 or something like that. I'm going off the top of my head. from
That's
what I remember.
cool. That's cool. But he also was the best player on the Celtics.
6.9 assists.
For a scoring guard and all the dysfunction going on in Boston, he had the best year ever.
For him,
he shot nearly 50%. He shot nearly 50% from the field, 34 from three, almost 90 from free throw.
How many games did he miss?
He missed a few.
15.
He missed 15 games. All right, cool.
That's more. That's as many as AD.
All right. I'm setting up my point.
That can be your argument.
I'm setting up. That's not my argument.
Load management is a part of the NBA now.
I'm mad.
I'm so tired of that buzzword.
I'm mad. That's a Joe Budden
buzzword
podcast title. You know that is right.
Load management.
That's literally a title. But anyway, I would say this.
Yeah.
The reason why you can't have AD and Ingram on the same team is because Ingram's too much of a young talent. I feel like Ingram's still better than Tatum. Tatum had a down year. Ingram is handicapped by being on the same team with Bron.
I'm not trusting any player with blood clots. I'm sorry.
Same.
Fam. That
you can. It's a variable.
So that's why he's out of the equation.
I mean, but
to me, the better argument is Kuzma or Lonzo.
Well, Lonzo again.
Well, you can't really
LeBron's
say
essentially
Lonzo.
A point guard.
You can't really say Lonzo's better than Kuzma though, just based off of production.
Lonzo's a better
that's
fit
my point.
on his own.
That's why I don't understand how Kuzma was not in the deal.
Because they probably thought they were going to keep Randall.
Rob Pelinka deserves some credit for that.
Yeah, Randall opted out of his deal.
Except for he essentially gave control of his draft for the next 5 years to the Pelicans.
You're talking about picks that are going to be in the
okay,
bottom
I got it. I heard Stephen A. He's made that same point. I get it. But it's a gamble.
It doesn't matter.
So if
draft picks, hold on, let's be honest.
If AD doesn't re-up, it's
a fail.
It's a fail.
Until recently.
But why would he leave LA?
Until the last, since D'Angelo Russell, when D'Angelo Russell was drafted. Before that draft picks have never meant anything to the Lakers. I'm talking historically.
Luke Walton, Devin George,
definitely.
Kareem Rush was a first-round pick.
Those were all late picks,
though. Take Magic and Kobe out of it. Everybody else is trade. Yep. And they even traded for Kobe because they traded for their draft pick.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the draft?
I like how no one let me finish my point. Thanks, Pete.
Oh, go ahead.
But yeah, I swear every time. But when it comes to that situation, you just look at who's going to be a better fit on the other team. Ingram. You have Lonzo will probably actually be a good fit with Jrue Holiday. And they actually be allowed to be put in a system where they can grow. I think any young player around LeBron James is doomed to be like a means to an end. They're never going to reach their potential around LeBron James. Because the same way people
I agree.
The same way people are like, oh, Jordan was this ball-dominant guy who... Yeah, I don't know. Like, Jordan was the guy in Chicago, and it was Jordan's way or the highway. With LeBron, you can't name me anybody who he's made an all-star. After he got
what are you talking about, bro?
No.
He made Ilgauskas an all-star.
Bro, Ilgauskas was good before LeBron.
Jameson an all-star.
Jameson was all-star before him. What are you talking about?
He made Mo Williams an all-star, bro.
1 year. 1 year. Did he make any young player better? He didn't make Brandon Ingram better.
He never has.
He never has.
He got Deladova paid.
That's a nobody.
He got Tristan Thompson paid.
He should have went to the Lakers.
Tristan Thompson.
I thought he should have went to the Clippers.
He got J.R. Smith paid.
Bro, don't talk to me about J.R. Smith. Don't bring up J.R. Smith's name. But yeah, go ahead.
J.R. Smith wasn't an all-star. All he did was make him a champion. We're saying make somebody an all-star. LeBron's never done that.
He got in Ingram's way.
I thought he was perfectly. Like his game and where he's at in his career, he should have went to the Clippers.
How can he make somebody an all-star when he's already playing with two other all-stars? Like,
bro, he stunted their growth. That's what you're not refusing to understand.
He stunted Mario Chalmers' growth?
We're not talking about Mario Chalmers.
Cole's growth?
Oh my! He was the second.
I'm talking about sorry-ass players.
I'm talking about Lonzo Ball, who was the second overall pick.
I'm talking about sorry-ass players he made relevant.
He stunted both those guys' growths as players.
Bro, Norris Cole's sorry.
Pete.
Oh my God.
No. Not that LeBron made relevant. That LeBron, Wade, and Bosh made relevant.
Thank you.
The players he made relevant was everything.
Boobie Gibson, maybe
2010. Everything pre-2010.
But man.
Every player after he joined Miami was established. They were established players. None of them had won championships besides Dwayne Wade, who taught him how to win.
But Jordan. So give us your draft take because we got a guest coming up, bro.
Years old. Yeah, but no, he deserves credit. But I'm saying at 37 years old, you want to win now. You're not gonna want to slowly and hold hands with Lonzo and Ingram. Oh, do this. No, I don't have time for that. All you guys need to go. Let's get AD in here. Let's try to win.
Yeah, man, I feel that, but I don't know if they're gonna be able to do it. But man, what else you got to get off about the draft?
Your initial rant, I agree with that.
But
I don't see them winning either.
What about the draft though? Because that's what you called about.
Plus, we got a guest coming in behind you, and I think you should call back towards the end of the show just to kill Pete. But no.
Well, I wanted to pose a question about who you guys about ownership.
Okay.
But I'm gonna get there are three things about the draft, especially the Knicks draft. I'm a Knicks fan. That
the Knicks actually got cheers for once.
They made the right pick.
Yes, we actually did. And I actually was not a big fan of RJ. Probably 2 months ago, but watching more film on him and like interviews, I fell in love with his. I don't know, like he has a natural instinct of like I want to be there. Yeah. A lot of people don't want to be in New York, which is weird because everybody loves playing in Madison Square Garden. From athletes to actors to comedians, everybody loves Madison Square Garden. So it throws me off why people don't come here. But three things right.
Dolan.
Knicks finally got something right. It's been 20 years since Knicks finally got something right. At the third pick, you knew Zion was going 1, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
You knew Ja Morant was going number 2, correct?
Yep. Better version of Conley.
At three, yeah, everybody was saying RJ. Then the last 3 weeks, they worked out Darius Garland. Like, it was like, all right, the Knicks are going to nick again. Yeah, I literally thought because look, you don't know how distraught I was after the draft lottery. I was in the depression.
Yeah,
that we didn't get the number 1 pick.
I saw you.
Worse than when they took Nilikilia?
You mean the dude with asthma?
Yeah, worse than that.
Frank Nicotina?
I swear. It was worse than that. I promise you.
Frank Ocean's clone?
But we finally got it took 20 years, but we finally got something right. And we finally got something right because we did the right thing for once. Don't try to reach or trade down and get the best player available who's clearly the third best player in this draft. There's a drop-off after that.
Kudos to you for the Spike Lee reference.
Thank you. 2, we have free agency hope because of this.
Damn, Bobo's still on the board?
He broke his foot and he's 7'3".
Yeah, but he's not even worth the second round.
Yeah, he's still on the board. I was going to mention that when I first called in. Yeah, he's still on, I think. But, yeah, we have free agency hope now because if we would have done something in the draft,
how is RJ going to play with Dennis Smith, though?
I have a big master plan. It's going to take too long to go to that. I'll probably text you or something.
You got to call back and be like, yo, so here's a fast break offense.
All that, but the free agency hope is that we did something right, and that's moving us in the right direction. Like, we're finally getting that 20-year stink off of us. We've been in the NBA purgatory for 20 years.
Doldrums?
Despite being, and you could check Forbes. Every year I look at the Forbes list that they come out with for the NBA teams. The Knicks are always number 1. We are worth $4 billion and haven't been to the Eastern Conference Finals since the 99-2000 season. That's ridiculous.
It be like that sometimes, man. Try being a Clipper fan.
No, I like my life. I actually like my life.
You guys are. I would say you guys are a little ahead in the process than we are. But you guys have moved in that direction. We're finally taking the leaps towards that. And I think RJ was the first step in doing that. And then my third and final point about this is that I feel a lot better today than I did yesterday. And for Knicks fans, that's all you can ask for. That's it. we had no hope.
This man has a testimony and needs to get it off his chest.
Yeah, man. Try being a Raiders fan.
It does. And I was going to ask.
I could definitely relate to you on that.
Thank you. And that was my point that I was going to ask you guys about ownership. With the whole Al Davis era, especially towards the back end of it.
Oh God,
that's how it feels to be a Knicks fan.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But James Dolan's just dumb and a druggie.
You guys had like an 8-year period. For us, it's 20. We haven't won a championship since 1973.
So like 50 years.
But we're worth $4 billion, and we're tied for second most profitable U.S. sports franchise in America. How?
Clout.
Steinbrenner money.
It's James Dolan money, and he. Yeah, we I don't want to speak on the dead, but Raiders fans, I remember. Trust me, being back home in NorCal when he passed away, there was a lot of mixed feelings.
And in a lot of ways, those mixed feelings are still going on.
And Michael Huff was a bust.
Yeah, it's the same thing for Lakers fans. I mean, since Dr. Buss has passed, it's pretty much been the same situation.
Oh, stop it.
We're going to get on the Pat Bowlen thing with the Broncos.
We have to talk about it. They're a small business, and they're playing they're a family-owned business playing in a global sport, and their cracks are definitely showing.
Their cracks been
So
showing.
they got to win.
When was the Lakers?
They got to
win.
win.
When was the Lakers' last championship?
2012.
Kobe Bryant, 2010, right?
Yeah, 2010.
Pete, you're a Clippers fan. When was the last Clippers championship?
Never.
Exactly. There's a difference. For the
No,
Knicks,
I feel
it's
that.
been 19.
Not if you talk to Lakers Twitter, though. These past 7 years, not making the playoffs have been so hard.
Yeah.
Shut your ass up.
They're spoiled, though.
Same thing with the Celtics
No,
fans.
we are not spoiled. No, Celtics fans just never mind.
But all right, Jordan, we got another guest coming up, so we got to let you go, brother.
We definitely got to call back more.
Yeah.
We got to finish. We're finishing this.
I'm gonna text you guys, and we'll talk about this more.
All right, sir. Well, we appreciate you as always, man. You have a good night. Be safe. Good talking to you.
Yeah, enjoy you guys this night. Have fun with the guests.
You too.
Shout out to Ohio State.
Keep fighting the good fight. The lineage lives on.
Thank you, bruh. All right, then.
All right, peace.
Peace.
But yeah, man, that was Jordan. Shout out to Jordan.
Jordan Ball.
Thanks for calling in.
Sundial legend. Whew, that Sundial sports lineage is. There's gonna be a documentary on that. Y'all better not leave my name off of it. Y'all better not do me how some of the members got done in the Wu-Tang Clan.
But yeah, up next, we got on a bit of a tangent on the NBA. I didn't even get to ask him where he thinks Zion should play in the NFL.
Rushed him off the phone. That's why.
But because our other guest called like 3 times.
That is true too.
Yeah, great moderator here.
Hey.
Shout out to the A mic.
I had to let the conversation
Shout out to
flow.
the A mic. No, you don't. You're the moderator. That's literally your job.
I let it go as long as it needed to go.
Your job is to keep the time.
I let it go as long as it needed to go.
We're going to have to reevaluate that.
Hey, intern.
Damn.
I'm going to mute your mic, intern.
This is why it's good having
her all week.
And
now you want to jump up.
Having a good thing.
Woo. Okay, sir.
This is what Kenny.
I am. I make my
this is how Kenny is.
When you jump in the water, you might get.
But yeah, man.
The jokes are gonna flow.
Let's get to the NFL content.
Be quiet, Pete. Hello, caller. Tell us where you're calling from. We can't wait to hear your wonderful voice.
Hey, Biggs from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. What's going on, fellas?
What's good, Mr. Biggs? Finally,
hold on, Mr.
A long-waited dude,
the legend himself,
the man, the myth, the editor of FPC Raiders, co-host of Black Tuesday podcast, one of the best Raiders podcasts you could possibly listen to.
Probably the best. I'm just gonna say the best.
A great man. a petty follow on Twitter.
One of the pettiest. Be killing these Twitter trolls disguised as sports journalist.
And happy belated Father's Day to you. Happy belated birthday to your daughter.
Yep.
Thanks for having us on. We know you had some difficulties last week, so we're glad that it's finally here.
Fellas, this is one of the high points. I love what y'all do. It is my favorite podcast to listen to. I don't listen to ours because I don't like the sound of my voice, but y'all bring it every Thursday. It brings me such joy because it comes from an honest place. And this is fun. It's like going to the cookout, and I'm at the cookout. I don't have to cook. I just brought some soda and some beer. Let's get to it.
But yeah, man. So on that note, like I said, you're one of our editors at FPC Raiders. So I know you did an episode on it a few weeks ago, but just give us a skinny, man. What do you think about the Raiders being on Hard Knocks? Are you excited? Are you mad? What are you looking forward to?
Initially, it was more of just saying to myself, what are they doing? But then, you know what? As an editor, as a mediocre writer, it was like, you know what? It's content. Thank you. Thank y'all. I appreciate you. I appreciate the fact that in the middle of a dead-ass summer, y'all have found a way to give us stuff to write about. And, hey, that is fun. I mean, it is. I'm looking forward to see the guys who may not make the roster. I was looking forward to the 55th, 56th guy on that roster who is borderline. I'm looking forward to, honestly, Carl Joseph. I know he'll make the team, but they didn't pick up his option. He's pretty much playing out the string in Oakland or Oakland/Las Vegas. I want to see how he reacts to having to play alongside or play in the same backfield as his inevitable replacement in Jonathan Abraham. To me, that's interesting. It's like you are training a guy to take your job.
Well, I think the other crazy thing is, like I said, you host and edit one of the best Raiders blogs. But, like, you guys, we've really been in analyzing prospects deep down the draft board. So, like, you're actually going to know a lot of these dudes on the 90-man roster and et cetera.
I think where we differ from most blogs, and just because we do our homework, all of us, we, as a family, sit there and get it done, where what tickles me most are those dudes who write other blogs who will sit there about a week before the draft. Hey, look out for this guy. Man, we talked about that dude back in November, December. I mean, it's not.
It really did.
Like, those profiles.
It really was. Like, P.J. Hall last year, the DN this year. There's been all kinds of
Trey
guys.
Watson out of Maryland, even though he didn't get drafted, ended up in Miami.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I look at the blogosphere as an interesting concept. You have, I'm going to keep it real because, well, that's what I do. You have a lot of, I'm not sure if I can swear on here, but you have a lot of.
You can.
You say whatever you want.
Shitty blogs. It's awful, just terrible. Waste of fucking space. You have people who, honestly, wouldn't know an out route from in and out. It's terrible. It's tough.
Bruh. I'm done.
I am offended and afflicted. Oh my God. Whew.
And you have these dudes who sit there and just type this fanboy nonsense and just sit there and just, we as a team, bruh, I don't see you with a jersey on. I don't see you running back punts. I don't see you anywhere blocking. It's not we, it's them.
You didn't even give me
They're playing. They get played. You're at your mama's house out there in Corona in the basement just trying to kick back and watch the game. Get out of here.
Crappy light beer.
I'm mad you just described me on some days, but it's all good.
The shoe fits, But anyway, so how you feel about Darren Rovell? That dude who keeps running like he's like partially paralyzed, partially constipated, and partially has diarrhea. And he ran like a 6.4 40. I know you saw that, T.
First, seriously, I am about his age, but there's no way in hell I'm running that slow. He runs like he ate some undercooked chicken. It is so bad.
Yo, I can't.
Oh, man.
And his tweets are worse. He tweets about just random stuff, and he's the person who has to be credited. If you use his tweet, I've seen him try to shame other reporters. Oh, you got to use my tweet. And bruh, you work for a fourth-rate, whatever now. You're not even on ESPN. You're barely a name. That check mark went from blue to like light blue in a heartbeat.
It's faded. Oh, he got the faded check mark.
But yeah, man, Kenny posed this question, beforehand off air. But
so why don't you let me ask it?
Well, go for it.
No,
then.
I'm kidding. You go for it.
Go for it.
I don't know what you're gonna ask. I pose a lot of stuff off air.
Where does your I don't know, I guess you could say passion for holding bloggers and writers accountable, where does that come from?
You know what it is? A long time ago, I was an average or slightly above average semi-pro football player. I've been writing for the longest time. I stopped writing for like a decade when I moved to Wisconsin, and my thing will always be this. I want to read truth. I want to read talent, where you and Kenny, the pride of Cal State Northridge,
hey.
I'm Matador pride all up in there. You guys actually took the effort to go through school and actually, work at your craft, where you see Jim Bob at the Starbucks who has a laptop and Speech's Wi-Fi connection, think he's a blogger, or I think he's a writer, or I think he's a journalist. And it is upsetting and it is nerve-wracking to sit there and read so many people who retweet shit. It's garbage. It is. I hold them accountable for the simple fact that there are people, actual readers, who want to read quality material, who get caught up in I'm just going to call names, the 12 up of the world. Those 24/7 sports.
That's always something that's was interesting to me. Like people who cover the sport, people who actually played the sport, people who do it just for clout, and then people who shout out to you and Obi, because Obi killed somebody earlier on Twitter today, whose name I'm not gonna say, but oh man, when I think about the accuracy in which you like to report and how you kind of set up narratives, the stories you tell, and I think about the infamous notebook that I have of all the Raiders' failed draft picks in the past 12 to 15 years. When did you know that this is what you kind of wanted to go into? Was it something that was always lingering while you were playing, or was it just something you came to once you were fully done?
You know what it was? When I was playing, it was the mid-'90s, and I wrote for a smaller blog back east, and I got to cover the NFL draft in New York a few times. And I said to myself, you know what, I kind of want to do this. And I still was playing at the time. So when I kind of hung him up at age 30, you know what, I'll see what's what. When I moved to Wisconsin, life happened, jobs, family, whatever. And then I took a decade off. When 2014 came about, I got a offer to write for another blog, and I covered the draft. I love covering the draft. It is a passion. Covering football is what I do. When my time on this earth is done and you see my gravestone, the first question will be, did you read the article? Second question will be, the second statement will be, how indebted I am to have the ability to communicate my thoughts to maybe a small audience or medium size who want to read them. And accuracy matters to me. I'm not saying I'm the most talented. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just, here's what I see, here's what I think, here's what I know. Judge for yourself.
So, long before, you and I started working together before, at the previous blog. And then,
I naming names?
I brought Kenny into the fold.
We talking teams?
But even before then, I used to share snapshots from the group chat and be like, look at what these guys are on. And, one of the things I really appreciate about, the group we have at FPC Raiders is, like I said, man, you guys are just great examples of men, between you, between Ray, between AZ, not just writing, but just the way how you guys conduct yourself, with your families and stuff like that. It's definitely something that I've really appreciated from afar. And so I guess my question for you is, how have you balanced, being a great father along with, being a great writer and editor? all that?
It's more of having appreciation for both. I got 2 kids, one turns 5 today, one turns 5 today, and one turns 3 in September. It's more of being able to look at them and say, you know what, your dad does this, your dad writes this. Like I said, when I'm a picture on the wall about 50, 60, 70 years from now, and they're alive, and my grandkids are alive, they can look back and, you know, open the tablet or whatever people use to browse and say, you know what, your grandfather wrote this, and it's honest. It's about holding myself to a standard that long after whatever, people can say, you know what, this guy wasn't an asshole. He actually thought about what he believed in and wrote about what he saw with honesty and integrity. And that's what I try to bring to the table, where when you look at FPC, everybody who writes for us has integrity. Like from you, I mean, you, Barry, you know,
Kenny's debatable, but it's all right.
Made me happy as hell.
Don't make me start slandering.
I was happy to see Barry graduate. Like, just to even look at the first, Barry is a funny follower on Facebook. Like, the most inappropriate memes you will see, and just I laugh. I'm like, I'm sorry, this shit's funny to me. But to see, you know, to think about where he was and to where he's going to go. Just like you, Pete, to see where you were and where you're going to go. I mean, it's the sky's the limit. Where a lot of people in our business tend to, especially in my age bracket, tend to be haters and a little bit resentful of the millennial types because they feel threatened. Where I'm more of the, you know what, there's a wide open space for y'all. Let me open the door and have y'all walk through. Make me proud. Go do what you do.
Appreciate that, because we always talk about the whole gatekeeper thing and how we're coming up through journalism. We got friends dealing with stuff now, and it's like, I told Mancini, he quoted our friend Mancini, he quoted me the other day, he's like, don't be a don't sign to a label, be a free agent. And I feel like that's kind of how things came about with at least me getting on FPC. But yeah, he showed me some of the group chats, and I was like, that is wild. And he's like, he reminds me of you a little bit, except like you're younger, and it's like you haven't gone through enough stuff yet, but it's close. And then I saw the residual pettiness on Twitter, and I was like, oh yeah. And then,
but it's a thing. Like when Pete said, "Oh, I got this guy who can write," you know, and I read it, I'm like, "Wow, this guy can write." And I'll be honest, we've had other writers, we're not mentioning names, because we all know who they are, who honestly, I call them a 3 ginger ale or a 2 beer edit, where I have to drink either 3 ginger ales or 2 beers to get through their long, taxing ass work.
Red Stripe,
tap water, rainwater. I don't give a damn. It had to be something, bro.
That's wild.
Yeah, man, but you don't want to ramble too much on that.
Raiders of the Lost Archives? All right, bet.
But yeah, man, back to the Raiders. Just, you know, you named Carl Joseph, but what are some other position battles you're looking forward to in Hard Knocks? And who do you think is going to have the best bite out of Gruden, Mayock, AB, Incog? Need get the fuck out of here. Go.
And and what drinking game are you gonna play when Mike Mayock says bubble butts one too many times? What drinking game?
I'm gonna play the drinking game with like Don Julio. If he says it like 3 or 4 times, y'all might have to either come see me in the hospital or throw in that black suit, because I'm going to be gone. Because, oh, my God, he's going to say that so many times. I think the position battle I want is, like, first of all, I think the best soundbite, to answer your question, is going to be AB. I don't think Carr is kind of the – he'll make jokes, but he won't say anything outside where AB just has no filter and the camera's on. Incognito, I think he'll be muted because they might have him so doped up on anti-asshole pills or whatever he's taking to calm his dumb ass down. He probably won't offer too many sound bites because he knows that the world is watching. I honestly think one of the best sound bites will probably come from Mo Hurst, because you don't expect it.
Okay.
And he has that, like, he's a smart guy, so you know he's going to say something funny. Either Mo Hurst or Trent Brown. Trent Brown is real active on social media. He is country as fresh eggs, but he'll sit there and he will say something different. Just something odd. Just random non sequitur thoughts.
Who's the alpha on that D line? Because that's something Kenny and I have been talking about.
Farrell, maybe, because he has the best resume and the most counter moves.
That's not hard.
No, that's not hard.
Neither is their D line, but I'm trying.
Out here as strong as a fucking bendy straw, Arden Key.
I think Fernando Vargas had more encounters than that D line.
Zab Judah once he got knocked out.
The ferocious one, our guy from Oxnard.
Victor Ortiz in a Mayweather fight. Too soon?
See, all chains, no moves. Let's see. I think
Chael Sonnen?
Farrell or
You win. You won.
Ooh.
I agree.
You won.
You won. I was gonna say a name. It's not as strong as that one. It's above me now.
You won. It's now above me now. Actually, a quiet one would be Benson Mayowa. I know that he's not going to be like much of a starter, but he does have a Super Bowl ring, even though he rode Pine. But he does Super Bowl ring, and he kind of carries that veteran presence where he will be like the guiding force. But I think Farrell will be the dominant one. Either him or Jonathan Hankins, who's big enough to fight everybody in the team.
I heard Obi give the same take, and come on, T, you play D-line.
I think Hankins got a ring too.
You're telling me you're going to listen and follow a dude that doesn't even have a position? Come on. Like, your jewelry's nice, but bruh, what position do you play? Like,
that's fair, but it's like
did you come in as a linebacker?
That veteran leadership for him. I think that's going to lead, but I honestly think
veteran leadership right out the door to the waiver wire. Hey,
how they gonna have leadership when none of their linebackers got vision or can see?
Seriously, they have a bunch of honestly. What was it?
It's the 4.78 competition.
Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, and Jose Feliciano for those who are of a certain age, where they're just blind as hell, just can't see 3 feet in front of them, just miss every goddamn tackle.
Marshall's the only one, and even then, he'd be my outside linebacker. And you got Vontez and Tahir Whitehead, who honestly, he only looks nice because he's wearing the number 59 and he's in silver and black. Otherwise, it's just like
he can't cover a shift. That's how bad he is.
He can't cover a holiday shift.
You can't even cover a 3-hour shift. Like, bro, you don't even need a lunch break. Come on, man.
Just cover my lunch break.
I'll get your gas. Like,
he's terrible. Like, he is so bad against a pass. Seriously, like, when you see him on the field, if you're an opposing quarter, just audible to a pass. Just come on, tight end. You can be wide ass open. Like, like legs on prom line open. Just come on. Just find a seam and just sit down. We got you.
Yeah, I just gotta know how are you feeling about that draft class? Because personally, I feel like they should have not passed on Montez Sweat or Devin White, and they probably should have copped a tight end. But whatever. How do you feel?
When they picked Farrell, I'll be honest. My first thought was why? Just why? You have the fourth pick in the draft. You have there are only 3 guys ahead. You have 200, 300 guys behind them you could pick. You went the subcompact Uber when you could have been rolling in the Mercedes as Montez Sweat.
Yep.
And you had Uber points.
Mm-hmm. And then just Abraham, he's a high character guy and he's smart. That's fine, but bro, you could have just waited on a safety. And it was at first I was not happy. I'll be honest, I was not happy. But then hearing Mayock initially, because then he spun the narrative into character, which became quickly unraveled with the signs of Incognito. It unraveled. But at that point, I was not happy. But then Max Crosby, Trayvon Mullen, our dude Bell from our Prairie View, they have that young talent where I was happy with the later rounds, but that first round not happy. But then they're looking to kind of build or to put certain pieces in spots, and they can't mess it up. Like, they have to hit on all 3 of these, where if it were just one draft pick, they had 3. Excuse me, you had 3 guys. You need to hit on all 3. They all need to be productive. There's no mess ups here.
Josh Jacobs, your thoughts? Because I would have preferred to take,
because you skipped him in your synopsis of the draft. So I think that's your opinion as it is.
I was hoping Miles Sanders later. Honestly, like they could have had
in the 4th round
a running back later on.
Tony Pollard, your guy.
Somebody just later on.
That was a Cowboys running back,
right? When I think first round, running back, I don't really think lower first round. Like if you really have a guy in the first round who's lower, you could have waited till 35 if you want to be that guy, or trade down if he was still there. I just think that a running back in the first round. Look at Todd Gurley, all the talent in the world, but honestly, his knees are being held together with anything stronger than what's holding a little kid's face.
And the will of God.
Bruh, Gorilla Glue and putty. Hopes and dreams.
I think the worst part about the Jacobs situation, though, is
he runs a 4.6.
The fact that I'm still seeing Doug Martin and DeAndre Washington get reps with the ones. And I'm like, I know it's early, but like you invested all this in the number 1 running back, and he's still losing reps to these bums.
Remember when I'm pretty sure you remember this. Remember when I said the Raiders would regret not taking Joe Mixon?
Yes, I do. This is why. I mean, just like Pete said, you can't really be lagging behind Doug Martin. I mean, evolution moves faster than that dude.
The sea turtles at the Galapagos Island probably got more explosion than DeAndre Washington.
Deion Sanders' hairline had faster restoration than
Floyd Mayweather reads faster than he runs.
50 Cent gets people to pay him back quicker.
Did I hear that correctly? Yes. Floyd Mayweather runs faster than he can read.
Oh, God. I couldn't even finish what I said. He said,
whoa.
I couldn't read a page out of a Harry Potter book. Yo, can Floyd Mayweather read those Oregon cards? Like, he's been to college football games. I wonder, can he read off those play cards? Does he see like a duck or like a picture of himself and get confused?
He treats Mad Libs like War and Peace. That's how
Are postal stickers too hard for him to understand? But no seriously. Like, and I've kind of go for it.
Go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
He struggles with trying to read the writing on the wall. That's how slow he is.
That's definitely true. We know that for sure.
Ouch. But no, all seriousness, and I kind of touched on this in like an article, but when I look at speed, and you look at the AFC West in general, and the NFL, one might argue the Raiders are like the slowest team in the NFL. Like, I get you don't want to, you don't want to get. Maybe the Lions are slower, but arguably nope, because their corners run 4.3s, like legit 4.3s. But I look at this team from top to bottom, and I look at the draft, and I don't see where they got athletically more competitive. Like, everybody was hype on the Josh Jacobs pick, but like no one thought, hey, maybe we should trade down from 4 to get extra picks in the second round. And I don't think the hype was no one wants to trade with the Raiders. I don't think that was an issue, because plenty of teams were trading up. Like the Giants traded, Packers traded a bunch of times. Like a bunch of people traded. So after seeing the draft and seeing where the Raiders are going, like for personnel wise, and all the free agents that are out there, T, what do you think is realistic for the Raiders?
For their record, or I mean, if
for personnel moves,
the
free agents that are out there.
You're right. This is the slowest Raider team I've seen in my entire life. Like, they had Ron Brown, who couldn't catch a cold butt naked in Alaska, but he was fast. And they don't really have that burst. Like, you have Terrell Williams is fast, which is nice, but they don't have anybody on offense to scare defenses. Like, as far as Antonio Brown is more of the twitchy, yes, he can run, but he's more of his moves get him open. His route running gets him open. He's not going to blow anybody off at the line of scrimmage, where if you look at the way that they put together this team, you're right. They are the slowest team in the AFC West by a mile. They are patently slow, and that's a concern for me. Like, the upside is Gruden has installed this system, and Carr seems to have picked up in the first year offensively. Where I'm afraid of is that defense, where you have Paul Guenther, who still has that Bengals mindset, and I just don't see how much they improve with just, yes, they address the pass rush, but right now this feels like an 8-8, 9-7 team at best, like best case scenario.
Wow,
I agree with that.
Incredibly optimistic.
But yeah, man, we're pretty cynical on this. We have a love-hate relationship with the Raiders.
I've seen nothing positive about that defense.
So let's put your rose-colored glasses on. What are some things you are excited?
Silver and black colored glasses.
What are some things you are excited to see in Hard Knocks, and really just the season moving forward?
I want to see, first of all, the Hard Knocks. I want to see the dynamic of the Carr-Gruden relationship, where we get to see cameras on how they interact. Where John Gruden, honestly, if you put a handle on the side of his head, he is that big of a mug, where he'll just sit there and look at the camera and he is pretty much like coaching version of Jim from The Office. Just look right into the camera. Just say something wild and look right into the camera. Where I want to see that. I want to see how the defense under Paul Guenther tends to take shape. Just like Barry had just said, I have giant concerns. But for the season, one positive thing I see Terrell Williams actually giving them a deep threat, where all Carr has to do is not arm punt it and find him deep, and he's right there. I think Terrell Williams will probably end up helping Derek Carr in the long run.
Or exposing him.
Unlike Seth Roberts?
Pretty much. Oh, God.
I'm just glad he's gone.
Honestly, that dude dropped more than Sprint does calls. It is bad. Ooh. King of this wide-ass open. Let me just drop this 5-yard out. Okay. Now we have a punt, where you knew that when the ball's in the air, Seth Roberts would drop it. The rhythm method is more reliable than Seth Roberts.
Unless it was a game-winning touchdown versus the Ravens.
Like Tampa.
or Ted Ginn Jr. Talk about a 50-50 ball. But last question for me, T. And I just want to solely on the free agents, because this is probably one of the older teams in the NFL, and somehow Reggie Nelson is still on the team. Somewhere Obi is cursing violently while listening to go-go music. But I just want to know. Tell him I said it, because I know he's doing it. Somewhere with Wale pretty girls playing in the background to calm him down. I just want to know. You look at the fact of these free agents that are out there, the older ones, defensively, and you would think it would be the perfect time with their cap space to go out there and just start filling the potholes that are on their defense, like it's the city of Compton.
Wow.
Do you think they have a shot at a guy like Eric Berry? Not just because we might be related and because he beat cancer a bunch of times.
Do they really need another sub-6-foot safety?
First off, he's over 6 feet. Don't you disrespect Eric Berry in my presence.
5'11" and 3/4.
He's like 6'1", bro.
With 6-inch studs.
Did you forget that man's a Hall of Famer?
He is. I'm not disrespecting him.
Let's be honest. I'm still mad at Marcus Joyner. But sorry to cut you off yet.
Yeah.
That was my question.
That dude is 5'8" and a safety. Unless you are Bob Sanders, like the incarnation of Bob Sanders, you're not knocking anybody out. They're going to throw you away like you're trash, basically.
He's Jason David.
He's going to have to.
And Bob's shoulders felt that. Like, it cost him his shoulders. Like,
mm-hmm. He's going to have to come up and support the run. And honestly, they will throw him away like Tiffany Haddish's whole career. Just Right down the toilet.
She ain't ready.
Garbage ass.
But yeah, man. So before we let you go, why don't you go ahead and plug up your social channels? Let our listeners know where they can find you.
And fire off one last warning. Fire off one last shot if you want.
See, okay. Oh, I got one last good shot too. But
empty the clip.
Follow me on. I might have a magazine somewhere, in the cabinet. But you can follow me on Twitter at tbiggs, that's capital T, capital B, lowercase everything else. FPC Raiders is full press coverage / Raiders. My final shot is this: it's when I look at the two of you and I see how much you progress, where Pete is writing about the Lakers and Barry is graduating from college. That makes me feel old, but that makes me feel proud, considering I knew where both of y'all came from and how hard you had to fight to get there, and how it's the pride that I feel as watching two colleagues make their way into this business. Where I'll be honest, I was not too encouraged by the whole landscape. You got your Bill Simmonses, you got your Skip Bayless types, you got Stephen A's hairline and like the prevent defense. But you have
Will Kane,
who honestly probably just buys sheets to put over his head and crosses the Brennan's backyard. But it's
Will Kane uses Axe body spray as cologne.
See,
that's blessed oil.
Either or the Tears of the Oppressed with his punk ass. But it was.
That's.
I am extremely proud to call you colleagues. Like I said, we know awful writing. We know awful Raiders writing. We don't have to say any names. But I'm not going to sit there and ramble on. But. But I, like I said, as a colleague, I appreciate the fact that, your podcast is one of my favorites because it is a good time and I learn a lot and it's interesting to me. And it's good to see good things happen to good people. And like I said, if there's anything I could ever do to help further or put in whatever, anything y'all need, anytime.
Appreciate that, fam.
Thank you, T.
Keep doing your thing.
Fellas.
You and Obi, Tuesday nights, Black Tuesday pod.
Hold Wisconsin
every day,
down.
FPC Raiders, hold Wisconsin down, and keep being a great example of a father and a man. Appreciate it,
fellas. Always a pleasure. Good luck with the show. Always a pleasure. Always a good time. Y'all be cool.
All right,
Thank
peace.
You. Can't wait to hear you slander Jonathan Franklin or whatever that Wisconsin's running back name is. Can't wait to hear it.
But yeah, man, that was T Biggs. Shout out to him.
Shout out to that man.
What? By far, for sure, our pettiest guest ever. Definitely in the running for best guest ever.
Oh man, that's a smack off,
bruh. Have we ever laughed like that in an interview? Bro, we were literally laughing. We couldn't even think of a next question. We were laughing so hard.
I've never had somebody say something so funny that I just scrapped my joke, which was also funny, and just said, fuck it. I didn't even go back to it. That was wild. And shout out to Keith, Michael. Keith, it's episode 129. We figured it out.
Officially.
And Michael, Pat Mahomes would make a great two guard. But that's about it. He can't be a point. He's Klay Thompson if he's a two guard.
I guess.
With his accuracy?
I think Zion, they say, can probably play QB in the league.
I'm not wasting Zion at QB. His ass is a tight end. You're Antonio Gates.
But yeah, on that note, man, let's get a couple of poll updates. So, as we know, earlier this week, Brett Favre said he got hacked. He posted an IG picture saying he is giving it one more try, coming out of retirement for the third time. So I posed the question. Is anybody excited for Brett Favre? And overwhelmingly, the results were no. So I'm glad. I'm glad, America. I'm glad you didn't buy into yet another washed up sequel. Because God knows we have too many of those this summer. Shout out to the new Men in Black. Shout out to Dark Phoenix. Shout out to Secret Life of Pets. And there's like one more other trash sequel that's out right now.
Wait, so
Toy Story 4.
Hold up.
Don't look me in the eye and tell me you're excited for Toy Story 4.
The fuck I am.
After that trash ass Toy Story 3, and
that was not trash.
And if we're really being honest,
trash.
Toy Story 2 is probably one of the most overrated Disney movies.
I will fucking kill you on your birthday. What did you just say?
Toy Story 2 is overrated as hell.
Bro,
you're overrated.
Who touched you in your childhood?
You're overrated.
Nobody.
Depression?
Nobody, but clearly not the
and
Toy
unhappiness?
Story movies. Toy Story movies didn't touch me.
It didn't move you? It didn't move you? You didn't feel anything?
So the whole thing about Toy Story 3 was like, oh, this guy's like our age. He's moved up with us. Like, you know, this Toy Story 3 is going to be like, oh, we're young adults. He's young adults, blah, blah, blah. So
I haven't seen Toy
now
Story
it's
4
to
yet.
your sister. Now it switches to his sister. Like, okay. That's some Disney shit. Disney always got to make everything about the princesses.
You know, there's like a urban legend.
All right, sir, go ahead. Get your shit
No. There's like an urban. Let me finish. No, before she tears your head off.
Stand for weak ass Toy Story. Go ahead.
Before she tears your head off.
I'm not saying nothing.
Before she tears your head off, there's like urban legend saying that like Disney is depressing because there's always like a scene where like the mother dies. It's actually pretty dark, but yeah, there's some really dark
I'm not even going to say
urban legends out there. But no, I think you should definitely tear his head off, sir.
And then other polls we had this week, I asked some tough questions about OJ because OJ's back on Twitter. So one of the things about OJ is he said he wants to set the record straight. He says, and maybe even get some fantasy football takes. So I asked the audience, one, why do you follow OJ? The overwhelming answer on Twitter was, why not? Second question was, do you want fantasy takes from O.J. Simpson? IG followers said yes, which is stupid to me because he's old as hell. And lastly, I asked, if real talk, if you came across O.J. in real life, since it was Father's Day weekend, would you wish him a happy Father's Day? And that was actually split. So I ask you this, KB. Would you wish O.J. Simpson a happy Father's Day if you saw him in the streets?
I'm like, OJ, you sure Chloe ain't yours?
Woo!
Think about it. Your partner had drug issues. All her partners have had drug issues. Lamar, French Montana, a couple other people, and the Goldman family already like said some really disparaging shit about how they pretty much agreed with Zimmerman over Trayvon Martin. And on top of that, like his wife, ex-wife, like notoriously hung out with drug dealers and like mafia people. So everyone likes just to gloss over that as if, but whatever. Not here for conspiracies. All I know is I would ask OJ, so when you going to speak up and say Reggie Bush needs to be allowed back at USC?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because he's allowed to go back to USC.
Is Ronald Jones a better running back than you?
That's trash, but okay.
What?
Even you don't believe that. Come on.
I don't believe that.
All right, well, let's talk about it.
I don't know where that one's at.
On the playlist side, you hit the playlist tab. There you go.
I'm pretty sure it's not there.
Scroll down to the bottom.
Pretty sure it's not there, but okay.
Scroll all the way to the bottom. They're all at the bottom. Come on, you can do it.
Hey, you know what? Go fuck yourself. Actually, I got a better one.
Shut the fuck up. You should have played that when he said that Disney's all about making princesses. That should have been the perfect time.
I might play
Am I wrong, though? Am I wrong? Did they not make Star Wars about princesses?
Shut the fuck up.
Are they not making Avengers about princesses?
What? There's not even a princess in Avengers. Are you
Captain Marvel?
She's not a princess.
Obviously not,
She's
but
really
obviously
on there
not.
For 20. She got a 20-minute
not.
role
Bro,
in Avengers.
She got knocked
Obviously
out.
not.
She got knocked out.
Obviously, she's not actually a princess.
She got knocked out and woke up
What
at a
else,
funeral.
Pete?
I'm saying they're marketing her.
20 minutes in Avengers. What's next? That's out.
Bro, she
Cancel
got a
her.
whole
Cancel her.
movie. She got a whole rollout.
No one barely saw that didn't get no hype.
She still has another movie coming
up.
So
does Captain America. Got 4, 10, 20 movies. So does
Captain
Iron Man.
Marvel is going to be the leader of the new
Spider-Man.
Avengers. In the next
Hulk. So does Thor. So does
Thor's the best one.
And what I'm telling you,
so does Ant-Man.
What I'm telling you,
because now they got a Wasp. Now they got Wasp, whatever her name is, and they're making everything about princesses. So as soon as they have a little sidekick, that's a woman. You like,
Captain Marvel's not a sidekick.
Here this thing goes. They about to add more princesses.
Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's going to be.
God forbid.
Captain Marvel is going to be leading the next Avengers group. So
no one's going to watch it.
And she gonna get knocked out again.
Okay, you think nobody's gonna watch it?
She's not a princess.
You think nobody's gonna watch it?
She's not a Disney princess.
Just watch.
She's like Captain America
because
she's the white. Because she's the female version of Captain America.
Before the new Star Wars even came out, I told everybody the next Star Wars series is gonna be about a female Jedi.
I'm gonna cost. That's not it. I'm gonna tell Mancini to come back up here and check your dumb ass for saying.
I'm telling you,
bro. We all knew it was going to be about Rey. Like, it was going to be a whole
I'm saying before all that, before any of that
they rebooted the whole thing.
As soon as the rights were bought by Disney, I was like, they're going to make it into a female.
So what are you getting at about the whole princess dichotomy thing?
That's Disney's market.
Don't hit the mic, sir.
Exactly. All right, man. So on that note, let's get to the shits. First up, topic you want to talk about, Kenny. Carrie Underwood getting sued for Sunday Night Football song. Well, why did you want to talk about that?
It's just ironic that country singers out here getting sued for songs that they didn't even do or whatever. And nobody wants to embrace that Old Town Road is a country song. You know who should be the next person to sing?
I want to know
the NBC Sunday Football Talk. It should be Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus.
It should. That'd be cool.
There.
I want to know, like, if all the other people have gotten sued like that. I like it. I love it.
Hank Williams.
Like, are you ready for some football? Like, all those corny ass country songs trying to resonate with Middle America.
Because country music is
that's who watches football.
Country music is just pop music, and pop music is just white people trying to imitate black music. Sorry, did I say that? Oops. There, I said it.
But yeah, pretty much.
Sam Smith's been making the same fucking song for 7 years, and y'all sitting here acting like he's some type of hero. Fuck Sam Smith. Get him out of here.
But yeah,
I don't want
pretty
to
much
hear him in Disclosure on another song.
Pretty much some singer and like 3 of her songwriters are suing Underwood, saying that it's an identical song to the one they pitched to Underwood in 2016.
That happens a lot, though.
And she posted.
That's pretty much what happened with Stairway to Heaven. Shout out to Led Zeppelin. Was it Led Zeppelin that did that? I think it was, yeah. They stole this dude's song verbatim. So yeah, people steal songs in the music business all the time. It's a gross and disgusting thing.
And next up, man, this is a story we've kind of been talking about here and there, but the Patriots are apparently livid with the Texans for stealing one of their executives. I've been bringing up the point, man.
In the words of Dame Dash, executive beef.
Damn! The Texans just really got to stop trying to be the Patriots because it's really not working. So
they trying to smash all the Patriots' exes. Trying to be all up in the videos.
Just be you.
All up in the studio.
Like, just be you.
But
be yourself.
Why are the Patriots going to be mad that's happening if I'm, in my opinion, the Patriots are going to be good no matter who they, like, what staff they have, as long as they have Brady, right? But I know that's a naive kind of thing coming, from an outside perspective, but that's how I think about the Patriots. They're like, anytime they go to the Super Bowl, they're most likely going to win because they have Brady and like that coach. So like, do they really need like that guy and those that?
Well, look at it like this. Let's say you have a successful business, right? You're the best around, and people poach your assistants, your high-ranking assistants. There's a lot of turnover. Same thing with Alabama football. There's a lot of turnover. So if you have a successful business and people keep poaching your talent, but this one group just keeps poaching all your talent for specific positions, and it's starting to get gross, and you see them doing that constantly over and over again, and then they're firing those people, and then it's like, well, what the hell?
So you
would have a beef with that one person who keeps poaching all your people.
So basically, this guy, he was hired in 2013. Jack, I think Easterly. He signed on to be kind of like a special assistant to help help the players prepare mentally and physically. And I guess after the Bob Kraft arrest, it didn't really sit well with him, so he wanted to pursue other opportunities. The Patriots were mad because they're like, well, you're leaving us at this bad time, and we're not going to be able to replace you. But fine, whatever. But the kicker is, in the story we've been talking about, he's actually the dude who tried to recruit the VP of the Patriots to come and be the player personnel president at the Houston Texans. So pretty much this dude dipped out. He dipped out at the wrong time.
Tried to take people with him.
And he was like Mr. Popular in New England, but got on his high horse and dipped out. So that's what it is. But really, man, the Patriots are just entitled as fuck because I'm sure this happens all the time.
Yeah, that's what I feel like it's just more like entitlement. Like, oh.
And if you want to keep your talent, you should promote it.
Or pay them.
Period. That's across the board.
Period, poo.
Any objections? Didn't think so.
Other news this week, Josh McCown officially retired. KB posed the question, why do we care about these washed-ass quarterbacks?
And it's always them getting TV deals when, like, McNabb and Culpepper and McNair, and I'm naming a bunch of black quarterbacks, and Vick. These cats...
Vick and McNabb have analyst jobs.
They did not get put on the front line and all this. They weren't media darlings the way McCown is. McCown was a backup dude who could never make it to be a starter for 15, 16 years.
You
Congrats.
like McCown,
You stuck around. Yeah, he's a great guy. I have a beer with him. He could coach my kid. But guess what?
I like McCown, too. He actually plays slot receiver.
Oh, yeah, that one time. He had a great combine coming out of the same Houston State. But still, that don't mean you should. I'm sorry, but I'm like.
I feel like McCown is at the top tier of the guys that you're talking about.
Of the greatest backup quarterbacks of all time?
I agree with the premise.
Have that conversation?
I agree with the premise that you're saying, but at the same time, I don't lump McCown into that because he's consistently risen to the occasion.
Look up his stats.
Situations.
Bullshit. Look at his win-loss record and his stats. It's terrible.
He's played for trash-ass teams, but I'm just saying.
So you can't be like, oh, yeah, he was a great player on a trash-ass team.
I didn't say he was a great player. I just said he rises to the occasion. That's all I said.
What is that? He's average?
That's what you want from a backup quarterback.
He's a lifetime 79.
That's what you want from a backup quarterback. When your guy gets hurt, he's going to come in, not fuck it up, and maybe play.
He kind of did mess it up, and he wasn't all that good in a lot of his starts. Chicago, Tampa Bay, a couple other places. He really wasn't all that great.
I never said he was good.
I'm not saying no.
That's what you want in a backup quarterback.
As a backup, you come in and then you're not that good. Well, you're not that good because you're the backup.
Side note,
he was never a starter.
Side note, I don't know if you guys remember asking you last week what makes a good Hall of Famer, like what 3 factors you qualify. I don't know. You guys were just talking about what makes a good player. Do you remember me asking you that?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember me? Okay. Yeah. So I did polls, and unfortunately, Pete, everybody was on Kenny's. Because I know you summed it up.
What did I tell you?
You summed it up to stats, adversity, and impact. And you summed it up to skills, stats, and transcendency. And most of the people
it's basically the same. This is literally the same thing.
No.
Those are literally the same thing.
No, because everyone was leaning real hard towards
hard body.
Transcending and impact is the same thing.
Oh.
No, it's not.
What's the difference between transcendence and impact?
Let me drink my beer real quick.
Sorry.
Stop.
Sorry, I keep
touching stuff, sir.
Sorry.
What's the difference
Somebody
between
said that if you use
impact,
adversity,
you said off the field. I was like, no, I don't care what they did off the field. You were a great player on the field. It's the only place I can.
What's
judge
the difference between transcendence and impact? You didn't answer the question.
You're transcendent in what you did on the field. Your impact could be anything. T.O. had a negative impact on some of his teammates in the media. So does that mean that's their excuse for not putting him in the Hall of Fame? T.O. was a transcendent talent wherever he went.
I guess.
That's the difference.
Yeah, sure.
He's just mad because he took out. It's okay.
Don't worry. I'm going to have another question that I'm going to put up on my poll.
Really don't even
and I'm going to have to ask you two. What do you guys think?
It's pretty much the same shit.
It's not. It's different.
I really don't care.
Yeah, you don't care.
But wait, next week if he win, then he gonna rub it in your face.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Finally, someone really notices Pete is petty. He hurt.
I really
mad.
don't care.
I really don't. You know what? The girl will be like, "I'm not even mad. It's okay. I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad.
My
It's
girl
okay.
really be doing that, though.
I'm not even mad.
That's
Exactly.
just annoying as fuck.
She gonna do it to you again because she probably listened to this and she's like, "Oh, you want to talk shit? I'll see you messing yourself up." Guess what? Hey,
All
Pete,
right.
what was your impact? Your girl gonna tell you. You was being petty, and you ruined the outro last week.
And other Patriots notes.
I don't hear no Riverside talk this week. It's real quiet. It's mighty quiet. And
wait till we get to that shit. Don't worry about that.
It's
Don't
real.
worry about that. The Board podcast gets plays. Anyways.
You was making noise and it still sounded like.
Okay. So, in other Patriots news, Kevin Rudolph got a new deal.
Kyle
Rudolph, my bad. I don't know why I said Kevin. I was thinking of Kevin Love, that's why. Kyle Rudolph got a new deal.
Can't even get your Notre Dame tight ends right.
He talked about the Patriots trade rumors. So why did you want to talk about that?
Because he got like a 4-year extension, like a huge deal extension with the Vikings.
But wasn't that like weeks ago?
It was a couple weeks ago. It might have been last week. We're gonna talk about it. It was like 4 years, $37 million, but
which is way too much for an old ass tight end
who lost his speed like 5 years ago. But whatever, he's the best tight end they got. They got Irv Smith coming in, so they're probably just trying to keep him and transition out. But a lot of people thought he was going to get traded to New England because Michael Roberts, who was the former Lions tight end, failed his physical and got cut by the Patriots. So they're just still down to like virtual nobodies at tight end. And what I forgot to ask T was what he thought was going to happen to Darren Waller, the converted wide receiver out of Georgia Tech, who I think ran like a 4.38 or 4.48 or whatever, but now is a tight end. So it'll be interesting to see what the Patriots do at tight end, or if they just go jumbo like San Francisco did when they had all those offensive linemen, because they have like 5 running backs. They might just pull some spread offense type shit and just have James White go out in the slot or whoever else. But yeah, that's why I want to talk about the Kyle Rudolph situation, because a lot of people thought he was going to get traded. He didn't think he was going to get traded.
All right. And finally, the pass interference rule was officially finalized. So pretty much the final rule is essentially pass interference calls and pass interference no calls can both be challenged. That was pretty much it.
What's the impact?
The final rule.
What's the impact of that?
The impact is pretty much... It's probably... Well, the impact is it's a test. So it's only going to be for this year.
Now you be.
So it's a transcendent rule?
No, exactly. It's not transcendence because it's only this year. So that's not necessarily going to change anything unless they elect to keep the rule, which basically is just a test period.
But with timeouts and challenges, coach challenges, losing challenges, do you think the Saints are going to get hosed again?
It's going to be a different management, yes. People are always going to get hosed. That's just
the Saints in particular.
That's the nature of officiating. Yeah, because they just got hosed by the Lakers by trading their second best player in franchise history for the Lakers training table.
Who was the best player in Pelicans history, a.k.a. they used to be the Hornets?
Chris Paul.
You don't think Davis is better than Chris Paul?
Chris Paul should have won 2 MVPs and actually had led them to a 1 seed.
Chris Paul had
twice
much more help. Chris Paul had
That's
much more help.
That's kind of true.
Those Chris Paul
but
teams
not
were
really.
better than Anthony Davis teams.
Yeah, they for sure will.
He didn't get help until
they for sure will.
I think Boogie Cousins might go to the Lakers because that's another thing. None of these trades are finalized.
Again, bro, I'm done with your basketball takes.
I think Boogie Cousins will sneak his way onto the Lakers.
They're not going to have the money for that, but okay.
He'll take a pay cut.
No, he won't. He already did that.
He didn't play all that good this year. I'm not giving him more than $40 million.
That's more than the Lakers. The Lakers can't give him $40 million.
I wouldn't give him 30.
The Lakers can't give him more than a minimum salary. Again, bro, I'm not paying you for your basketball takes. Your basketball takes are trash.
You're not paying me, period.
Yeah, exactly. I'm paying you with my time.
Damn!
I'm paying you with my time and my mind.
That was trash.
All right, man. It's time for Take or Tangent. So let's mix it up. First up, man. Von Miller said He wants to break Bruce Smith's sack record. Do you got a take or a tangent on Von Miller saying he wants to have the best season for a pass rusher ever?
At 98 sacks and at his age with Bradley Chubb there and a revamped defense with Nick Fangio there and Joe Flacco at QB. And the AFC West has some of the best right tackles in football. Mr. Schwartz got an extension. Trent Brown, whoever the hell's playing right tackle for the Chargers. It's possible he can get close, but the closest person to Bruce Smith's 200 career sacks, I mean, if you don't count, the Deacon himself, Mr. Headslap. I don't need to say his name. I think you know his name. If you don't count, Deacon Jones, and you just look at Julius Peppers, who has like 159 and a half career sacks and over 15 years, he's the closest one. Clay Matthews has what, like 80 or so? Or 79 or whatever?
My tangent on it is this, man.
He ain't gonna...
RP Pat Bowlen, he died this past week. But I think, honestly, how many more years does Von have of being the best pass rusher? That's my first question. Second of all, with your ownership dying, as I talked about earlier at the top, with the Raiders, with the Knicks, with the Lakers, with when you're visionary, when you're head figure, when that person passes on, it really is a trickle down effect because people have to find new roles and it becomes a power struggle and all that stuff. So, with as consistent as Denver has really been able to be over the past really 40 years, I don't know if they can maintain that, and I don't know if Von Miller can maintain that if the rest of the team around him is not able to maintain that, because over these past 2 years, we've basically seen them purge themselves of those Super Bowl teams from 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
Here's the thing with that, and they talked about it with Pat Bowlen dying. He had prepped this years in advance. He had already set up a council to where, like, the most worthy of his children would take over the team, and right now it's looking like his daughter's going to be the one to do it. So they had a plan. He had a plan in advance. As soon as he found out, I think was it dementia or I forget what his brain ailment was, but as soon as he found out that was happening, he had put a plan in place. Excuse me. He put a plan in place years ago for this to happen. So his daughter is going to be the one taking over the team. Unlike in other cases where people didn't necessarily plan, Bowlen was a visionary and he planned. He's the one who got them to put football on, TV on Fox. Football on Fox. So he was a pretty forward-thinking guy.
All right. This last one is for me, and then the rest are yours. The Cardinals, former first-round pick. Bro, stop eating chips. You already got indigestion on the air, bro. What are you doing? You've been making noise. You've been making noise, chewing, ruffling the bag this whole episode. Bro, I can hear you in my headphones.
Barely. Sir, did you hear me until he said something?
Again, we're gonna wait till after the podcast to discuss this. Add that to the list, sir, of things we're discussing after the podcast.
Does that guess I'm in trouble?
We'll add to the list.
Yeah, bro, we're adding that to the list. Anyways.
Oh, my roommates are tuning in.
Shout out to your roommates.
Joe and Antoine. Well, Antoine's visiting, but Joe and Antoine from Pittsburgh. Shout out.
Shout out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing serve with us on Thursdays.
Yeah.
But yeah, Robert Nkemdiche, Cardinals first round pick in 2016. Was supposed to be a top talent, fell to the 20s. Suffered an ACL injury last year before what should have been a breakout season. Specimen athlete, also known as the dude who
smoked some spice and jumped out a fucking dorm window and almost broke his legs.
Part of the Ole Miss NFL lineage who never did anything in college.
Ever.
He got in trouble.
Except that left tackle, he's pretty good.
He got in trouble in April for essentially going 75 in a 45.
Woo!
Damn.
Having some drinks and also having some white powder substance on his credit card.
Coca.
Oh, okay.
White girl, booger sugar.
So do you got a take or a tangent on Nkemdiche getting in
Space
trouble?
dust.
Which, for the record, this is his first time getting in trouble in the pros.
Arizona ruins all promising young defensive linemen's careers because they don't know what they want to run with their scheme. Instead of doing what the guys are actually good at doing.
And 3 coaches in 3 years certainly doesn't help.
Exactly. Him and Hassan Riddick are just wasted, and the Raiders should definitely trade for Hassan Riddick.
Yeah, man. I think it's tough to really cut somebody
And Dale Buchanan, too.
After they've been hurt for 2 out of the 3 years, but at the same time, it's also like, okay, what are we waiting for? And yeah, he hasn't gotten in trouble in Arizona, but you can't write off all the other red flags. That said, man, I've always been a real advocate of him. He was my draft clutch back then, just the way he plays. I'm a sucker for 3 techniques who are athletic. Guess that's my typecast. Whatever, sue me.
Who have no pass rush ability?
No, he has pass rush ability. He just lacks kind of an anchor.
Consistent motor?
Consistent motor, yeah, for sure.
So, okay.
But yeah, we'll see. I don't know if they should cut him. I don't think they should cut him because really Arizona is not the most talented team. So.
They drafted other guys on defense, though.
Yeah,
you have Chandler Jones.
Bruh, you just said that.
Chandler Jones is like one of the top.
Okay, except for anytime anybody brings it up, then you're like, ugh. You're like, did you really just say that? And you're like, you be shitting on Chandler Jones consistently.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I don't shit on any of the Bones brothers except Arthur Jones, but I think he's been out of the league. But I don't shit on Chandler Jones.
You've shitted on Chandler Jones.
I shit on the fact that I think he's a better 3-4 outside linebacker pass rusher.
You've shitted on Chandler
than
Jones.
A 4-3
I'm gonna go
defensive
through.
end.
I'm gonna mine all 128 episodes and find the 3 instances where you've slandered Chandler.
Tell
Jones.
me what the impact is, and tell me if he was transcendent in his role.
He definitely wasn't.
Sorry.
Was your impact transcendent? Was your
actually,
impact transcendent?
Actually, he
so
was
petty.
transcendent because he paid ways for sorry ass.
Was
Trey
he transcendent
Flowers.
adjacent?
Yeah, because he paid ways
he
for sorry ass Trey Flowers.
Look, you guys are trading roles now. For once, you're being petty, and you're just trolling now at this point.
All right, man. So the next ones are yours.
This is normally me. I just have to play the other role.
The next 3 are yours.
Pete's not adjacent.
Next 3 are yours.
Fam, I don't have it in front of me.
You wrote them down.
Now I gotta get my phone. Right. Yeah, like I can see that. I really can't see
This
that.
is why you can't be A-Mike right here, bro.
Okay, wait.
How you moderate and not have a rundown in front of you?
Because I was too busy monitoring everything else, and
You're
I don't
too
have my
busy
glasses.
drinking and eating your chips.
First off, I was drinking my beer like you were early in the show.
Yeah, but you see how I can still drink and follow the show?
No, you finished your beer.
Exactly.
And you were eating chips. But get off my head. But all right. Speaking of which, nice hairline.
It's really not.
I know, that was the point of me saying it.
I know you're not talking about your shit.
I just haven't got my shit cut. But
You got a chocolate chip missing from your hairline.
was that even funny? Hold on.
Wow.
All right, we're moving to touchdown or turnover because you got to get your shit together.
The Illini one. So Illinois has gotten like 5 transfers this offseason. And I kind of touched on this in my anchor rant when like some dude was following me to the train station, and I'm pretty sure I thought I was gonna have to snuff him. And I gotta apologize for the whole peanut butter thing, but I'll do that later.
What peanut butter thing?
I have to apologize for my offensive peanut butter tweet, but that's later. That's later. And look who's eating fucking chips, and I can hear the bag.
Chips. These are crabs. These aren't even chips. All you left was crumbs. Shut your ass up.
Show her the back. Show her the back.
Oh, them just
There's whole ass chips in there.
No,
them
there's
just
not.
toppings.
There's few and far between. You put those on the
You put those on your
on your tacos.
yeah,
or
on your
whatever.
tacos or whatever. Get some crunch.
See, how you almost eat your hand? He put his hand all the way in his mouth and then dropped the chips in.
Who am
Fucking
I?
Velociraptor. You like a retarded dinosaur.
And your anchor post sounding diabetic adjacent.
First off, I was just mocking Stevie's voice from Malcolm
No,
in the
you
Middle.
weren't. You lying ass.
Nah, I was.
You were walking and talking at the same time. That's all that was.
Okay, you're like... I was walking and talking adjacent. You're like 40% right. But no, seriously. Fuck you, Pete. And you're going to crinkle the bag back up and put it down.
You might as well
Disgusting.
just kill it.
Really?
I got a cramp. Or
You
a
got a
blood clot.
cramp? You got a blood clot?
Or a blood clot in my foot while I was eating those. That's why I stopped.
You're so fat. Just, wow. Oh, my God.
I swear to God, dude, my foot really hurts.
Your foot hurts.
Yeah.
Why does your foot hurt?
I just told you I either got a cramp or a blood clot.
Probably
What
those
don't you
nasty-ass Del
understand?
Tacos you ate.
All right, hurry up.
That fake-ass cheese. But anyway.
Them carne asada though. The carne
Okay,
asada and
and
that burger is
He had,
Okay.
no, he
And
had,
that strawberry
he had bad
lemonade.
tacos today. He had bad Del Taco. Now he got gout. Now he's standing
Okay.
up.
And yo, nacho cheese Doritos are
From a
real?
liquor store? Yeah,
Are
they were
real?
fire. You ate them,
That's
didn't
real
you?
cheese?
You ate half the
That's
bag,
real
didn't
cheese?
Oh,
That's
my
real
Lord.
cheese.
you? We're not having this discussion.
All right, hurry
Yeah,
up,
we need to
man.
get to
I'm
the
trying to
next
get out of
segment.
here. Yeah.
Anyway, so Illinois got about 5 transfers. They got Michigan's backup quarterback Brandon Peters. They got 2 USC players, Oluwalu Betatuku. I think that's how you say his name. He's the 5-star defensive end out of Sarah. They got Trayvon Sidney. They almost got Matt Fink, the quarterback, but instead they're getting Josh Imadabebe. I probably said his name wrong, but it's an insanely long African last name. Wide receiver, incredibly explosive, but he was just injured and buried on the depth chart. So Illinois' leading receiver had like 400 yards receiving last year.
Okay, so what's the question?
Damn.
It was a take or a tangent, bro. What are you talking
Exactly. So what are you asking me? What do you want to take our attention on?
about? So with all the negativity with the transfer portal, do you think that Dino Babers, or not Syracuse, I'm tripping, that's Lovie Smith at Illinois. Do you think Lovie Smith can save his season with a bunch of transfers? Even though you don't watch college football, but you're a Lovie Smith fan.
I mean, I think this is what you were talking about in the Anchor episode, right? Do you want to be a 4-string running back on
Who's a
Alabama
5-star recruit?
or USC, or do you want to go to somewhere that's a mid-major and be a starter? And if you can do that, play with a guy who's had 2 stints in the NFL, got a ton of connections there, why wouldn't you want to do it? And you get to play in Illinois. I mean, it can't be that bad.
Would you want to put that on your body, though? Like, because especially with high school athletes, because we're going to have a high school series coming up. Look out for that. Would you want to be that 4 or 5-star recruit that goes to, let's say, a Boise State or like a Cal or somewhere like that's not a 5-star top-tier program?
It's like what we say all the time. What is your impact, right?
Because it's weird.
So
I'll allow that one.
So what good are you gonna do unless you're really just going because you want to get a USC degree and you want to make those connections and build a business?
And those guys
outside?
are grad transfers. They did.
Like we slander him a lot, but Jordan Campbell, that's essentially what he did.
You slander him a lot. You
But
hate
that's-
Jordan James
that's
too.
That's essentially what he did. Got his degree. Now he's doing investments, giving back to the community and
Didn't
stuff
he
like
go to
that.
Louisville? Didn't he transfer to Louisville?
I
Was
don't
that
know,
one-
but it was after like 3 years of being like he was a
he was-
3-year bench warmer. Like,
Yeah,
every year is this going to be the year he starts.
he transferred.
But like I said, so if your goal is really just to get a degree or be in a community or make some connections at a specific school, then go for it. If that's your dream, who am I to tell you no? But if your goal is to actually play, make a difference, get your name seen, maybe get some film for a professional, maybe, have some relations with women, then yeah, I would definitely go to a smaller school and be a starter.
They're gonna have to explain that misogynistic, patriarchal
What does that mean?
You can have sex with women at every college anywhere. So what's the difference between Alabama or like Illinois?
I'm talking about. That's not the question.
You said women though. I was
question.
confused by your
that's
answer.
No, the question you're asking me is wrong.
No.
The question is, what's the difference between a backup and a starter? That's what you should be asking me.
No, but that's my thing is you got Alabama with 5-star running backs who are four string.
Don't be playing coy. Like, you know the difference between someone who gets PT and someone who doesn't.
That's a different one.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
One. I understand that part.
So don't
it's some backups who get tail though. It's some backups.
But they
like shout out to Papa from the
have
Shy.
Swag. They have swag.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They're
like
the
backup QB is
they're the exception. They're not the rule. Yeah,
we have to have a conversation about that. This is
the exception.
That's actually a good one. We're gonna table that one, but
we'll table that for when Serve's out sick.
Oh, okay.
I ain't gonna say nothing, but
I'm not worthy for that conversation.
No, you gotta bring in an athlete.
We just don't want to trigger you.
You gotta bring in an athlete that you know, a dude.
We triggered you last week.
And have him talk about college.
You triggered me
we
last
triggered
week.
you like 2 weeks ago too.
Atomic bomb trigger. It was bad.
Actually,
and it wasn't even me.
Politics. I triggered you this week too. Actually, we trigger you every week.
Yeah,
we trigger you every week.
Mostly you, not me though.
No, you said
I
some misogynistic ass shit.
said some
I said things that were funny but true. Yeah. But when I look at that, the whole dynamic is interesting. To kind of wrap up this tangent, like, would you rather be Donnell Pumphrey or who was his backup, Rashad Penny, or would you want to be a guy like Josh Jacobs, who was a backup most of his time and then finally got never a full-time starter, but he's at Alabama?
I personally would rather be the San Diego State guys. I'd rather make my name in the community and like be renowned. Like, those dudes are always going to be able to go back to San Diego State.
Break Marshall Faulk's rushing record.
They're always going to be able to go and get some beers at a local brewery there or whatever.
Especially in San Diego.
Go and do a little speaking event or whatever.
I love me some San Diego.
But yeah.
That's interesting.
Next up.
Would you rather be a Boise State legend or an Alabama backup?
It's the same thing, bro.
Kellen Moore
I'd rather
or
be a Boise State legend.
Yeah, I feel it.
All right, last one. Last Chance U comes out July 19th. You got to take your tangent on that.
I don't really care, but
you put it on the rundown.
I know, but like I know people are gonna care, but it's like I want to see a different I want to see that if I was directing it, it would just strictly be about JUCOs. It wouldn't be if you make it to the next level.
I stopped caring about Last Chance U halfway through the first season.
I know you did, because you've never been a JUCO prospect, so you don't understand.
It's not true.
You didn't go the JUCO route.
That's not true. I got recruited for JUCO.
You didn't go to a JUCO though. Yeah, you went straight to CSUN.
I could have,
but you didn't.
I could have. I didn't want to.
I know you didn't.
It wasn't my path.
It wasn't your path.
My boys did though.
Yeah, and they can talk to it. They understand the JUCO life. It's a different experience. And it's all undergrad units. So once you transfer, it's big. Bottom line. Anyway, if I was doing a series on JUCO football, it'd be like, okay.
I was JUCO adjacent. Let's put it that way.
No, you weren't.
Bro, my team.
I knew you were going to say that.
At least from that RCC team that won the state championship, at least like 10 of those dudes were my teammates. 12 of those dudes were my teammates.
Riverside JUCO from this past year?
No, that was in like 2014, 2013, something like that. And
Riverside won.
And when I was at CSUN, the house next to me was a full-on JUCO house with like 20 Florida dudes, full-on just living there, taking the bus like 8 miles to Pierce. I was like, bro, Pierce ain't even close.
It really isn't.
Why do you guys
on the orange line? Pierce isn't close, and no one wants to play at LA Valley.
Why do you guys live here, bro?
No one wants to play at Valley College. Close. It happens, bro. A lot of JUCO cats stay in motel rooms. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time.
Who's paying for it?
It doesn't count.
Let's talk about it.
It doesn't count as a JUCO. That's what I'm saying. I would rather do something like that than keep doing the last chin. You're like, oh, you're going to make it D1. Okay, whatever. It's nice if you do. What's about the cats who don't make it and do something else with their lives? I would switch up the whole thing for Last Chance U, but whatever.
All right, man. Let's move to touchdown or turnover, and let's make it quick because we're running out of time. Can I get the drop, or you can just go on your phone?
There you go. Let me go down.
One day we'll get to it without me having
One day you just won't say anything, and I'll just play it while you're talking.
That would be amazing.
But then you'll still shit on me for playing it while you're talking. And I'm like, it's the only way to properly intro you. I have to interrupt you to intro.
So, Odell Beckham Jr. went on Instagram story and pretty much posted that he's getting off social until training camp July 1st. OBJ going off the grid. Is that a touchdown or a turnover?
I mean, it's a touchdown. He's probably just going to be chilling at Drake's house.
Doing whatever they do.
Going out the country. Hey, I ain't insinuating nothing. The thoughts and the thoughts, words, phrases, expressions, and innuendos of Pete D. Camry are his and his alone.
$3 a.m. in Caleb Blacklist. All right, next up, the New Orleans Saints.
Why are you standing up when you have diarrhea?
No, I wish. It's my freaking foot. My foot really hurts, bro.
You got diabetes in
my
the foot.
My foot really hurts.
Did you eat too many orange slices? Damn.
I don't know, bro, but it fucking hurts. All right, man. So the Saints said they're fully comfortable making Michael Thomas the top paid receiver. Is that a touchdown or a turnover? Michael Thomas being the top paid receiver in the league.
It's a touchdown. I mean, it's like the Saints have been trying to avoid this for years. They luckily got by with Colston. They couldn't avoid it with Cook, so they traded him. But now they have to admit, like, Michael Thomas is the backbone of their offense, their passing game. There's nothing else outside of Michael Thomas. Like, he's the foundation of it. So if you're not going to pay him, who else are you going to throw to? Ted Ginn Jr.? Traquan Smith is still pretty raw. You don't really have much of a tight end presence. So, yeah, they kind of have no choice but to pay him.
Next up this week, Michael Vick appeared on the Lefty Show for Bleacher Report. He was asked, out of all the people coming up, everybody says, okay, Baker Mayfield is the most exciting quarterback since Michael Vick. Lamar Jackson is the most exciting quarterback since Michael Vick. Kyler Murray is the most exciting quarterback since Michael Vick. Patrick Mahomes is the most exciting quarterback. So Lefty asked him, like, straight up from you, who do you think is the most like you? And his answer was Kyler Murray. So, touchdown or turnover, Kyler Murray being the closest thing we've seen to Michael Vick.
Kyler Murray is like the finished product. It's like Thor with two hammers. He's the embodiment of what, when people saw Michael Vick or Randall Cunningham and then the spread offense came, Kyler Murray's the golden child of that. Stop hitting shit.
And that's pretty much what he said too. He was like, essentially, like, he plays in a different offense than I ever did. Like, I never played in that sort of offense, but he's getting the privilege of being able to play that same offense that he played in college in the league. Like, it's going to look exactly the same. They cited that Larry Fitzgerald even was like, yeah, he knows the offense better than anybody because he did do it in college. So, yeah, shout out to that. Next up, man, last one. Tyler Lockett, receiver, returner for the Seattle Seahawks, says he wants to keep returning kicks despite being essentially the team's number one receiver with Doug Baldwin gone, a bunch of other veterans gone. So, Lockett returning kicks and being the number one receiver, is that a touchdown or a turnover for the Seahawks?
It's probably going to be a touchdown. I mean, you can't put DK Metcalf back there.
I'm going to say it's a turnover because I still don't think he's the number one receiver. I think it needs to be DK.
I think it's more of a. I think that offense is just more by committee, and I think he has to be the special teams ace.
All right, man. Well, that's it. So let's get to the rants.
Who wants to go first?
Serve, since you've been quiet.
You guys always do that to me.
All right.
Ladies first.
Do you not want to go first?
I'll go first. I guess.
You got so much shit to talk about Toy Story.
You the one that's in here trying to knock on Toy Story 4, and Woody, Buzz Lightyear, they didn't do nothing to you, but you still hating on them for what?
$40 dolls I could never afford.
That's why. That's where all this hate is coming from.
I don't speak broke childhood.
This is where all this hate is coming from.
No,
it's not because of the storyline. It's not because
Teenage Ninja Turtle dolls.
It's because you couldn't afford the toys. I think that's where all this underlying hate is coming from.
Why is she doing a little bit cooking dance while she's slandering you?
Why is your mic unmuted?
We'll never know.
Exactly.
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to say happy birthday to one of my roommates, Joe. Happy birthday to you. We go way back to Whittier College. Actually, all the birthdays I'm about to shout out right now. So happy birthday to Joe. Happy birthday to Antoine. And happy birthday to my one, my only, my 7 years, my babe, Gabe. Happy birthday. You guys enjoy your week. I know you guys are going to turn up. Also, once again, happy Pride Month to all my fellow LGBTQ plus people out there. I'm trying to always get it right. You guys are brave. I aspire to be like you. You guys have the confidence, and you guys are going to be in the world showing who you are, and that's what's dope. You know, besides who you love and whatever, is the fact that you're being you, regardless of all the other bullshit. So I appreciate that about y'all. This intern here had a long, stressful week, y'all. Start off with me dousing my phone with beer. So I didn't have a phone until today, and then some shit came up with my car, and I was carless for the past couple days as well. So it's been pretty shitty. It was a lot of things going on, and you know, when things like that come up, you just feel like it's the end of the world. But things end up falling into place, so I'm thankful for that. Most importantly, not to get all sobby, even though I was talking shit to them too today. I'm really appreciative and thankful for Touchdowns and Tangents. It all started off through an email that they they posted on Craigslist. They was looking for somebody, and I was like, fuck it, I'm trying to do my podcast thing. Let me see if I can fit in. And from there, they have let me join their family. So I'm just thankful for Pete and Kenny. I appreciate y'all. This is the only thing I look forward to. Seriously, like I said, I had a stressful ass. It's true. I'm going to tell you guys how real this is. I have not talked to them since last week, and that's when my phone went dead. I was completely rogue, off the grid, and I just got my phone back online, my car back online today, and the first thing that came was here. And I know they were like, what the fuck? We haven't heard from Serve. They didn't know if I was coming, but I still showed up just to show my dedication. And trust me, like, guys, I have bummed out on a lot of things and been like, fuck this. But this is the one real thing that I have that has entered my life. And I've been like, yo, this is something I want to do. So I appreciate you guys for letting me come into your space, teaching me things, even though I'm not a football expertise. I'm learning more and more things about football and just how to podcast, and more importantly, how to get the confidence for myself to do this. So I really do appreciate you guys, even though you guys can say some off-the-wall comments about fucking Disney princesses and other shit, which is going to go on for another day.
You on the same page.
On a positive note, and we'll talk about this, guys, later. As of a couple weeks ago, I'll be gone from August 12th to September 16th. I will be joining my brother again in Japan. So I'll be out of the country. I'll be in Tokyo and Yokosuka.
For only 4 days?
No, I'll be gone from August 12th to September 16th. So I'll be gone for a whole last month. You guys won't see me.
All right.
But I'll still be in touch. But that's in August. But that was like the most positive thing through all of this. My brother was like, fuck this. I'm going to just get you a ticket because he got that military money. So shout out to my brother R2. I love you. I fucks with you. You know we go back. It's only me and him. And shout out to all the servicemen out there who are serving for our country, especially with the shitty ass person who's in office, because you guys can get into a lot of sketchy ass shit. So I appreciate you guys putting your bodies on the line, putting your lives for us, even though sometimes I think that's bullshit, but you guys are still fighting for us. So I appreciate y'all. And I'm going to sign off. Just send positive vibes my way, guys. I'll send it back to you. And yeah, I can't wait to tune in again to you guys for next week. Deuce. Oh, wait. Before I finish, I need to ask this question to you two. Because I want the people to know. So you guys had a little bonus question that you guys didn't get to, but I just want to ask. So I want you guys to marinate on it. What 3 stats and skills, so they can be all 3 stats or all 3 skills, it can be mixed. What 3 stats and skills factor when deciding Rookie of the Year? So I'm going to let you guys marinate on that, and then before you guys close off, I'm going to ask you what you guys think.
All right, well, I'll go next. First of all, shout out to you. You know, Kenny and I were talking about it before, and you have been getting better every week. So I think that's the best thing that we want to see, and that makes us really proud. And so you definitely do add a different element, especially, you know, being on the Good News platform, which isn't necessarily a sports network, and even some of the other networks we aren't necessarily sports. So we like to have that balance of having someone who's not necessarily a sports expert in to be like, hold up, or like, wait, or like, what's this, or like, because that's something that we've always tried to do, but you know, sometimes we do get in the weeds and we do get petty, and so we kind of lose that. So either way, back to the shit I want to say. First of all, fuck lemon heads. I'm mad Kenny even put this shitty ass candy in front of me. like, bruh, who likes lemon heads outside of your 40-year-old creepy ass neighbor with a white van? Yeah, man, I'm sorry. At least get some Mike and Ike's. You can't even say lemon heads are better than Mike and Ike's. Okay, that sounds like a poll this week. Lemon heads or Mike and Ike's? That's that. Honestly, I'll take hot tamales over lemon heads. So we're just gonna have a shitty candy NCAA tournament with all the shitty candy that your grandpa used to give you, all the candy that used to be left over from Halloween and you wouldn't get till Christmas. We're gonna have all that face. Honestly, bar for bar, look at how long you've had that candy. That's a perfect example of how shitty that candy is. That candy's from graduation, which was like 2 months ago.
No, from my friend's graduation party a week ago.
Okay, you get a pass then.
That's why the fuck you put this in a light bulb, my nigga?
Whatever.
I'm upset.
Yeah, I'd be upset too if all I had was some lemon head candy in my thing.
No water?
Yeah. Talking about who touched me in my childhood. You're the one over here eating lemon heads, bro.
I don't ever eat lemon
Bar for bar, I would take a Tootsie Roll over a lemon head. Bar for bar.
That's not even going on the ledge.
Exactly. All right, man. But outside of that, again, I got to give love to the one, the only, the GOAT, the Claw, the 951 Zone, the 909, San Diego State's finest, Kawhi Leonard, man. For all the shit that everybody's talked about him, like I've literally, as I've said many times, I've literally had so many debates about how people really thought Jimmy Butler and Paul George were better than Kawhi Leonard. Like, and all the slander he's taken, you know, for signing with New Balance, for his laugh, for all this stuff. Not only did he win a championship, but he really embraced it. He really embraced being him. You know, he mocked his own laugh at the end of his championship speech. He was allegedly rolling up a backwood with Ibaka in a limo. He really does. Ibaka really does need to stop recording people, bro.
Pre-roll about to lick it, and all you see is, hey, baby.
But yeah, so he's out here embracing himself, living his life. Like I said, man, IE people are different. And I'm tired of people saying he's from LA. He's not. He was born there, but he was raised in the IE. So just shout out to Kawhi Leonard because, as you said, the board man gets paid. The board podcast gets played. And that's something I shouted out on Instagram because, you know, a lot of feedback we get on this podcast is, one, everyone's like, oh, you and your co-host or you and Kenny or, like, you and Pete have, like, a great dynamic. You guys have something really going there. Like, you guys have a chemistry, like, blah, blah, blah. But then they'll be like, oh, it's like, oh, okay, you listen to our podcast and be like, oh, yeah, they listen to it sometimes. Or, like, oh, like, I listen to it when I go to sleep. Or, like, oh, you guys talk about race too much sometimes, so I just kind of, like, tune out. Or, like,
that's your problem, bitch-ass nigga.
Basically what I'm trying to say is the same way Kawhi Leonard is kind of embracing himself. It's like, for us, we don't have to be everybody's flavor, but as long as we find people who really authentically fuck with us and who are willing, like T-Biggs, to come on and talk with us for a half hour, or Jordan calling in, you know, going on a tangent, talking for 20 minutes and just having laughs and a good time, that's when this show's at its best, because that's when we're at our best, and that's when it's the most fun. So I just want to shout that out, because it really doesn't matter if we're boring to you, because the board podcast gets played. And fuck lemon heads.
Whole ass niggas. Yeah, I'm a Boston baked beans person. I only ate those lemon heads.
So random.
Boston baked beans are delicious. I'll fight you.
That's just random.
All weekend.
I don't even think I've ever had a Boston baked bean.
Because you're trash. You've never had Boston baked beans, Pete. But anyway, I just want to point out a little something. Texas basketball versus Texas football. And we didn't touch on this. Baker Mayfield pretty much took a shot at Sam Ehlinger, Texas's quarterback. How, like, you know, he don't like me and I don't like him, and it's not a rivalry between Oklahoma and Texas, even though it is. I just want to know, what's the bigger rivalry? Which state is more racist, Oklahoma or Texas? What's the impact of their racism? Because, I mean, the Dust Bowl in Oklahoma.
Take Kansas for 500.
Pete said he'll take Kansas for 500. That's interesting. But anyway. Plot twist. Dun, dun, dun. Did you just say Missouri and Kansas are in the same state?
No, they're not.
Kansas City, Missouri. Missouri is a state.
I'm going to get that name.
Hold on. No. You tricked me. I said it backwards. Missouri is...
There's the Kansas City, Kansas, and the Kansas City, Missouri. It's on a river.
Yeah, the whole Mason-Dixon line and all that shit, but whatever. It's one state. It's just two different cities.
No, it's two different states. There's a Missouri and there's a Kansas.
Kansas City, Missouri. And then, like, Topeka, Kansas.
Yeah, Wichita, Kansas.
Wichita, Kansas. All right, fine, whatever. I feel like I knew that. Whatever. But yeah, so Texas basketball had like a center taken in the top 10. And they pulled up a stat saying like the only team to have more lottery picks since like in this era than Kentucky is Texas. And Texas has all these successful basketball players in the NBA. And in the NFL, they haven't had a good offensive lineman produced in years. Oh my God. Like, Connor Williams, is the jury's still out on him. I think they had another guy drafted. Texas receivers aren't really doing much out here. Roy Williams probably cursed all Texas receivers. Sorry to break that to y'all. I'm not all that convinced with Marquise Goodwin, but that's the only one you can name. Jermichael Finley might have cursed Texas tight ends, but whatever. But,
you just hate Texas.
Yes, I hate Texas. Football. University.
Austin's
Texas.
Actually a really dope city, though.
It is. Austin City Limits, all that. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention. I'm so happy the Black Keys are making music again and their album's coming out. I can't wait to listen to that shit. Like, Turn Blue just...
Silver Lake of you.
first off, fuck Silver Lake and the click they claim. Anyway, the Black Keys, their last album, Turn Blue, was it was like right when I got to see something. I think it was 2014, 2015. I forget what year, but I was like, this ain't the one, Chief. This isn't the one. They had like 1 or 2 songs on there, and I was like, fam, get it. Dan's getting divorced. It was bad. Whatever. But pretty much from this week, it's been a great week. Shout out to all my hardworking people out there in the service industry. We don't get enough respect, and we honestly should punch more people in the face. And Pete don't know what he's talking about when it comes to Toy Story, so don't listen to him. And I wanted to formally apologize for my tweet on saying that it's some peasant shit that y'all like hot peanut butter and don't put your peanut butter in the refrigerator. Occasionally.
Wait, say that one more time.
I was wrong.
Wait.
I was wrong. I put peanut butter in the refrigerator a couple times. I don't like always do it, but I normally have it in the cabinet. But I hate like hot peanut butter. It makes me feel like I'm poorer than I actually am, and I refuse to feel that way. Like, I've had hot peanut butter in my life. I'm scarred by that, and people don't like. I got killed on Twitter for it.
Bro, I've had some hot peanut butter and crackers after football practice.
That shit don't hit. You had water. You had water and Gatorade to wash it down, and if you had, I know you had saltine crackers, you bitch.
I did.
You had peanut butter and saltine cracker, yeah, to keep you dehydrated, but to keep your, man. We gonna have an episode about the shit that coaches do with high school students.
Why my stomach is fucked up?
Hey, all those painkillers I took to fix the pain in my ankle because I fractured and broke my foot and tore a bunch of ligaments my senior year. I was on painkillers and had to sign waivers, so I couldn't sue the doctor. Shout out to everybody who I know now is like 27 that I graduated high school with, who got buff as fuck, taking muscle milk, but now you're bald as fuck because you took all those supplements and you have no hair. Congratulations. You're pimply as fuck. Like, my shoulders messed up, but I get back in the gym and hit 3 plates like nothing. And I can naturally do that. You had to like put on. I can still be fat, but your kids are gonna have a bald gene now because you want to take a bunch of fucking supplements for like 9 years. Congratulations to all of you who did that. I hope it was worth it. My hairline will be impeccable till the day I die. And shout out to my 5 gray hairs in my head right now. Fuck y'all. It's called wisdom. But anyway.
And your chocolate chip dip.
That's Paul. I'm not even gonna repeat what you just said on the air. Serve, could you please like get him? But anyway, to wrap things up, man, you can find us pretty much anywhere, everywhere.
Your hairline look more chipped than my computer.
I'm gonna just unmute your mic so everyone can hear me slander you. You talking about hairlines and mics?
All right. Can we wrap it up?
We can wrap it up.
Finish your point.
Stop talking. Yeah, so anyway, Texas football's trash.
Oh my God.
Shout out to Lawndale High and all their seniors who are off going to the colleges that they are going to be playing at for hopefully the next 4 years, or at least 3. Good luck to all of you young men. Good luck to all of you who are still trying to figure things out. And like I said last week with high school, it's just the beginning of what you... Like, the handcuffs are off now. There's no more coddling you. That's what high school was. And for some of you, didn't get coddled. Some of you, shit was probably hard, and you had to deal with it. But just know, now is like a fresh start for you. You can go create the life you want for yourself. So, don't be rushing to get pregnant and shit.
Well, please don't. Our population is already fucked as it is. Our planet is fucked as it already is. I appreciate that you guys want to start your families, but some of y'all don't really need kids right now. And
you're 18. There's no legitimate reason why you need to have kids at 18.
Just don't have them, please.
Hey, real quick though. Hey,
no reason you can give me why.
Can you unmute me?
I've been unmuted, you stupid.
I'm muted still.
You're not muted, stupid. I can hear you.
Test. I don't think. Test. Okay, now.
Yeah, dumbass. You were on the whole time.
I guess because I turned my mic upside down.
Yeah.
Anyways, real quick, I forgot to say during my rant because your lemon heads triggered me. But yeah, I also wanted to shout out from the Vick interview. If you didn't get a chance to listen to it, obviously I'm a Vick stan. But
you're a LeBron stan too.
There was some good. I'm definitely not a LeBron stan.
Yeah, you are.
Fuck no.
I'm talking. I talked to Jordan. You're a LeBron stan.
I fucking hate LeBron.
You're a LeBron stan. It's a love hate. You hate him so much that you love him.
I hate LeBron.
You hate him in the way.
All right, let me finish my shit.
Arnold.
Michael Vick, like if you get a chance to listen to that interview, he actually gives a lot of great insights on kind of what he had to go through going to prison, like it pretty much being the first time in his life where he was like dead ass on his own, because coming up Virginia, as you know, athletes in the hood, especially special ones like that, are usually protected, but he kind of lost that protection and kind of talked about the dirt he had to do and standing up for himself and all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty interesting. He's never really kind of talked about specifics like that before, so that's pretty cool. And one more thing I wanted to bring up. I didn't get a chance to talk to T about this, but honestly, the whole LeVar Ball situation, like I get what he said was like fucked up.
That was a dad joke, bro.
But that was a dead ass dad joke, and it was totally taken out of context. And I get it; it's 2019.
She know he didn't mean.
You can't say stuff like that. But honestly, the people who are like, "Oh, what is Jalen gonna do? Oh, that's Jalen's girl."
Jalen
like,
ain't gonna do shit.
You guys are way more misogynistic than LeVar Ball because you think she needs Jalen to speak for her. Like, she's made a career for herself. Despite what I think about her, she's made a career for herself.
Wow. You
want
to say about how you feel about Molly Qerim?
No, I'm just saying, like, regardless of what I feel about her, she's made a career for herself, being a third of that First Take show, which is ESPN's darling show. So she deserves respect for that.
Gentrified like, cold pizza?
She's more than, pretty much. She's more than just Jalen's girl.
Wait, before you guys
cold pizza
sign
used
off,
to be the name of the show.
Did you guys think about the question?
Hold on. I got one more take on LeVar Ball. And honestly, ESPN and Fox Sports are trash.
See what I mean?
Are trash for saying that they're not going to have LeVar Ball on. You guys are just not going to have LeVar Ball on because there's no news peg. Like, Jello's not in the league, Melo's overseas, and Lonzo's in obscurity in New Orleans. But as soon as Lonzo makes an all-star team, Melo gets into the lottery, or Jello gets an actual chance, guarantee you they're going to call LeVar Ball on to have some blasphemous ass shit. So they're really just fronting, trying to look like they care when really they don't, because they're the ones who gave LeVar the platform in the first place.
Jello should have played football at UCLA.
Jello should just get a fucking chance. I don't understand how he really hasn't got a summer league.
Because of his dad.
It's bullshit. But back to Sir's question. Sorry.
So what 3 stats and skills factor when deciding Rookie of the Year?
So I think it really depends on the position. But obviously, I would say where your team ranks in terms of wins and losses.
Team ranking? Wait, what? But the team that they're playing for now, or where they came from?
The team that they're playing for now.
Okay.
As a rookie.
Okay, team ranking, that's number 1.
The second thing would be like mental toughness, like how you deal with playing grown-ass men. Like, are you consistently tough? Are you able to...
It's kind of intangible, so like adversity, you mean?
Kind of.
It's kind of all over the place.
It's adversity, but more in between the trenches. So it's like...
I think you're trying to say anything with transcendency.
It's like...
So athletic adversity? Like as in talent, like are you able
it's called competitive toughness. It's
okay.
Can you line up in the person in front of you and consistently compete? Do you rise to the occasion when it's 4th down, when it's 3rd down, etc.?
Okay.
And then the last one I would say is just like playmaking. Like, can you make plays? Can you
run the
touchdowns?
ball? So do you have skill?
Exactly. Can you get touchdowns? Can you score? Can you create turnovers? Can you impact the game? Can you change the game?
Change the game. Okay. So, team ranking, competitive toughness, and changing the game. That's your 3.
Yep.
Okay. Kenny.
All right. Mine, production. Individual production.
Okay.
So that's like stats.
Skill set.
Okay. So production, skill set, is that 2 or just 1?
That's 2.
Okay, skill set.
Skill set's like what you can do.
Okay.
Whether you're a running back, a linebacker, receiver.
Okay.
And
like
then,
what your potential is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then lastly, I would say it's damn, I just had it. Level of play. So like, is your level of play elevating the people around you, or are you just having a great individual? Are you stat stuffing, or is like your level of play actually making everyone around you better?
So your impact.
Like, to an extent, not really impact, because he could be okay. Like, let's say Odell had a great rookie season, not just a great rookie season, but a great season for any NFL person. His level of play elevated everyone around him, even if they weren't good and didn't make the playoffs. So I look at it like that. So it's almost like competitive level of play for whatever that person's position is, whatever. Like RG3 raised the level of play for that Redskins team when he was a rookie.
Okay.
If that's for context.
Yeah. So
yeah, impact.
Production, skill set as in potential, and then level of play, like
impact on the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw. It doesn't matter. I don't care about the wins or losses. I care about your impact on your position group and the team itself.
Okay.
Does your play raise everybody else's, or did you just have a great individual season?
Cool. But yeah, man, this is Touchdowns and Tangents, your Thursday night spot for NFL takes, topical tangents, and context for the culture. Shout out to FPC Radio. Shout out to the Good News Sports team. Courtside Radio having a live event this Saturday at the Truth Hookah Lounge in Wee Hollywood. So if you can make that, go for it. Shout out to the new shows on the Good News Sports, Hoops Talk. And as always, shout out to FPC Radio. Shout out to X Squad affiliates. They also got some new podcasts. Thank you to Jordan for calling in and going on a tangent about the NBA draft.
We will continue that.
Thank you to T-Biggs for finally being able to make the show on Central Time and dealing with children and
Wisconsin
life and all that. So we were finally able to catch up with him. So thank you to him. Thank you to the FPC Raider Squad, our team. Thanks to Serve. Thanks to Kenny. Thanks to me. I'm at Pete Certified.
I'm at Ozo Grande. OZO Grande.
Swerve Serve, though.
And the movement is at TDs_tangents on Instagram and Twitter. Those are the best places to reach us. See what we're doing. Engage with our polls, et cetera, et cetera. So if you can do one thing for this podcast,
embrace the conglomerate.
Go follow at TDs_tangents on either Instagram or Twitter. And if you are already following them,
follow all of them. Not either one. Follow all of them.
Share a post with somebody who you think might also want to follow us.
Follow them.
Give some feedback.
That's it. Peace.
Bye.
Peace. Peace push with that.